tower is under attack. Dire's putting up a barricade.
Go for the tier 3. The lag. Becomes, you know, a bit of an issue there for the Enigma. Pop that BK. Force that pretty early. Oh, safe. Even going into the black hole. Stop it once distant. Now, 46 seconds. Too good. Not a great feel. A lot of it's kick. Bit shocked the fight went the way it did. Very knew what was coming, but still couldn't prevent LGD because they broke the smoke with FY here.
Okay, where were we?
Dazzle. Regeneration.
Oh, Prism.
Radiant's top tower's about to topple. Radiant fortified their structures. Pretty good move if you ask me.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
In a team fight, you just sort of force them out.
Yeah.
And Troll doesn't really ever go toe-to-toe with Death Prophet either, unless you get your like third, fourth item. I love the Ogre pickup.
I love the rise of this hero, honestly.
Yeah. It's just strong, and it just makes your heroes better. We already see like this is a great DP game. If you're Bloodlust buffed, this is why Troll can't really touch you, because you effectively just run away from him and drain him. However, Oracle against Ogre is quite nice because you can always just purge off the Bloodlust. Wow.
Oof.
We definitely need to get Carl some more coffee today, don't we?
Peekaboo. No, but It's more, I like the Ogre is the fact that you see the Phoenix, right? And then potentially the Mars comes in too. So Ogre naturally lanes pretty well against these heroes. The Ignite does a lot of work. So I think it's for Secret, it's just you don't have to show anything, right? It's a strong lane.
Ignite is the W, right? Then you didn't even skill Ignite on Ogre. You just go max W QE. That's what I've seen, at least from Secret when they did in the past.
Sure.
I'm sure it might change up, but it's the concept is that Bloodlust doesn't, or multicast doesn't really affect Ignite too much.
So level 1, you have 2 ignites pretty much. So I think there's always value in having that ignite, especially for the runes, and then you can move away from it.
For 1 point, you mean?
Yeah, 1 point. Yeah, one
point.
value.
I can see it. Thing is, like, the reason I think the stun E build's so good is because since they're all multicastable, you get off like a double or triple level 3, level 4 Bloodlust, and you're only like level 7. That's pretty significant. And the stun becomes like 480 damage.
Yeah, stun,
which is pretty sick.
It's what? It's like 70% for multicast anyway. So
it's like a 2.5 second stun, and it's just like, oh my god, this is a level like 7 Ogre who's got no farm, but he just did 500 damage, and it's like an 8-second cooldown. Anyway.
Radiant pick.
What was that?
Beastmaster's nice.
Okay. You know, tempo, pressure, but still no. I'm just afraid that they're going to get death profited again. Like, this is a better answer in the sense that you have now a ton of raw damage. Like, these two supports don't really do anything to Beastmaster, and the tempo plus team fight is always a nice combination. We have this troll, this necro or HOD on the Beastmaster, and then a Phoenix behind them with an aura. Like, you can't really kill these cores, and they can play way more aggressive because they have these super strong supports behind them.
It's very much a laning phase though, right now for Nip. Like, the Beastmaster can fare as well against Ogre. Sorry, it's a hero that naturally doesn't really care too much about the Ogre. You have your boards there. Phoenix plays behind the boards. Like, Nip have very much doubled down on the fact that they're going to have strong lanes and then hopefully not give Secret that early advantage to then move behind the DP. And the fact that Nip has last pick, Supreme as a mid laner, we've seen him pop off multiple times on these big clutch picks. So, for example, TA, he's even had a couple, like a Tinker game, for example. I'm not expecting Tinker, for example. But the idea that give this man last pick, he might be able to open up your game, especially if your side lanes are solid enough to not collapse early on.
So it could be a real difference maker depending on what they see come out here.
Yeah, my fear though for Nip is the fact that they are so focused on laning phase, which means like their ability to push out lanes right now is kind of underwhelming. Sure, they can take objectives nicely, but it's just a little bit clunky in how they can actually move around the map. Again, primarily due to that wave clear.
Yeah, and the Monkey is a really interesting pick. So really good synergy with Ogre, because the hero is one of those that likes to be that you want an advantage. And it's like this concept of heroes that in an even game are somewhat mediocre, but when they're like, it's like Bursaw in concept, where if you're that item or status ahead for whatever reason, you apply threat, you sort of dominate it by showing up in it. However, Troll can kind of eat you alive. So it's important that this Monkey has a really nice game. Really good synergy with the Death Prophet too. You drop the ring, you go push towers. You can't really fight into this lineup anymore.
I would say that's like, I think the main reason for this pick is one, it's a comfort pick, and also the fact that Nip, they don't really have a lot of stuns, so you don't also have saves on Secret. So you need a way to enable this DP, make her feel safe when you move around the map. So you drop down the Wukongs, DP sits on the objective. Like, there's no way you should be able to jump into this these big spells.
What do you think Secret's likely to go for?
Okay, no, that's a nice ban actually from Nip, the Baden ban. If they pick up some offlaner Baden here, they pretty much have no stuns in their game. They have nothing.
I'm starting to feel like this might be an offlane Death Prophet, and I think it's you keep the Monkey open. I could see them going for a Matumba Man hero here. It's a really nice illusion hero game. You could just go for like a PL perhaps. It's kind of up to you how you want to. I like how Secret sort of set this lineup up where you have the ability to do whatever you want. For all we know, you could be like an Ogre off lane. You could take anything from a puppy hero to a mid to an off carry. It's whatever you want.
Casual Kunker here as well does a lot of work for Secret.
Yeah, I would not mind that at all. It makes their team fight just overwhelming.
Yeah, and then, like, you don't really have enough damage right now. If you have that boat buff, it's like, like your damage pretty much is reliant on physical damage coming out of Beast and Troll. Phoenix will kind of fall off, and Oracle. So yeah, I think Kunker's really nice.
Pugna's banned, right? Because that would have been another option. I mean, that's the beauty of Secret, and with their biggest strength is the versatility. They do so
classic 12v Phoenix. Like, this is now the biggest punishing factor that you can have is the fact that you have no stuns and a centaur. Of course, you can always argue, oh, but there's the Oracle for centaur and laning phase. That does not matter. The laning phase, whatever, it's that mid game. The fact that your engage is so focused around raw that if you don't get that raw from the critical hero, the fight is so hard for Nip to really take.
Yeah. This is a good matchup, though, for the Quap. You love laning against Monkey, although now that you pick it, it's likely going to just be Death Prophet mid, which is a relatively even matchup. Certainly a little Quap favored. You have a base damage advantage. You can
Buy some more regen. You still get your levels. You're not pushed out the lane. Like, I prefer secrets. I feel like they're pretty slow pushing out their lanes, so it's not going to be like that clean, where's our information coming from? It's going to be, we have to push our lanes first, group for the smoke, then make the play, we miss our raw, or we don't get, like, it's just that it's just going well.
The way is, Secret will never have to, you'll have plenty in the bag to still look for kills. A lift, a blink stun, Monkey bouncing, and then they can disengage with the center ult. They can pop DP ults if they really want to take a fight. Same with the Monkey King ult. Whereas to get anything going for Nip, they've got to use some of their tools already off the bat. A roar, Quap blinking, like it just requires a lot more risk to actually make moves. I think Secret, if they can keep the game even, just naturally are going to eke out an advantage because they're not reliant on these big spells. And really, I just feel like they're the better team.
Okay, so you guys seem to be on the Secret train. Is that the way you're going?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Secret this game.
Secret first game for both Kyle and T-Gov here. Now our commentators are ready, and let's test this out. Peekaboo, Suns fan, Cinderin. Can you hear me?
Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
They're here. Jeez. How's it going, guys?
You scared the shit out of me with the peekaboo. Holy crap.
Well, I can't see you. I'm trying to have some
Terrified
fun
over
with it. You know, Carl, he's educated us here about how Peekaboo works, so I thought I'd have some fun.
I mean, that was probably the best segue of all time, by the way, when Kyle originally brought that up. I have no idea what entered it felt like basically every one of my casts, so I can definitely relate with that. Cinder, what do you think of this? These two drafts?
Oh.
That sounded like an orgasm. That is rated R material. Cinder, what the hell?
We've started off with a wild day.
We do it different in Denmark with peekaboo. It's a different thing here.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Jesus.
Okay, so I think both teams have really solid drafts and they have stuff that plays to their own strengths, right? The thing that concerns me a little bit with NIP's draft, for the most part, this is stuff that we have seen for quite a long time. So I think Secret should be very well prepared for this kind of strategy. NIP have a good win rate, so they're playing their heroes, but they're not bringing anything surprising to the table. Whereas Secret here, they're grabbing like an Ogre with the hero right now. I would say Centaur is not unpopular, but I think the way, like the order that they drafted it in is a bit unusual. And then, yeah, apart from that, I guess not too many surprises. They're either just very meta stuff. The Ogre is the one that really stands out to me. I'm curious to see what Puppy's planning with this one in this game.
You like Secret's draft because it's less predictable.
I like both drafts. I think they're very clear plans, but like going into this series, my thought was Secret will have caught up with the meta a bit, and I think NIP have had a bit of a head start in this tournament from, you know, having games under their belt recently, having more practice, and really having understood what to do right now. I still hold Secret in super high regard, even though currently they're on a lower standing in the group than NIP, so they will be my favorites for this game, just based on that. But
well, Yapsor gets to play his patented Rubik, one of his... Is that his favorite hero? It's one of them, I know.
Yeah, it definitely is one.
I mean, he has played a lot of Rubik, and the only other person, this might surprise you, that I mean, obviously there's the Chinese scene that have a lot of great Rubik players in terms of historically speaking, and I'm sure Kyle will love this, but his brother is one of the best Rubiks, Z-Freak, that I've ever seen.
For sure.
Very, very good on that hero.
I think the top three in most people's minds is probably Yapsor, FY, and Kuroki, in no particular order, but Kuro doesn't really play 4 anymore, but his Rubik was also very... And GH, I guess, has to be mentioned too. Those 4.
That's true. You can probably add like 10 more people, honestly. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rubik there.
Mid lane Cinder, we have Nisha on the Death Prophet versus Supreme's Queen of Pain. Been seeing a lot of Queen of Pain lately, with kind of mixed results. How does this laning stage kind of progress here?
I think this lane is pretty even, maybe slightly DP favored. In the early stages, it should be DP favored just because of raw base damage. Like DP has 8 more damage than Quap. And you see Nisha putting that to good use right now, getting a lot of free hits in while Quap is farming on the tower. She's pushing that a bit faster as well. Obviously, one thing that Queen doesn't do very well in the start in the mid lane that a lot of heroes can't really take advantage of is she doesn't push the wave. And you don't get high level and Scream of Pain very early on. So a hero like DP can push you into your tower and then start harassing you in said tower to get an advantage on gold, which is what Nisha did just then. Most melee heroes don't have this luxury because even if they have a pushing ability, just zones them out effectively if they try too hard to get creeps. But in this matchup, it's a good lane for DP. Pretty sure about that.
And top lane is Troll and Oracle versus Centaur and Rubik. I'm assuming Troll will be able to farm relatively well here. The question is, will they ever be able to kill Zai? Is that when Yapsor starts to rotate away, perhaps they'll have their opportunity? Like, how's the kill potential with an Oracle Troll?
Level 3 is strong. You have a lot of damage from the Oracle. Troll gets level 2 Whirling Axes, perhaps, or he gets Fervor, whichever one he prefers, and they go to town. And Centaur, usually what's dangerous about this hero in the laning stage for the other team is his ability to, at any point in time, just take pop retaliate and fight back way stronger than you expect sometimes, but Oracle can purge it. So there's no real play for Centaur in this lane.
Is there an animation or particle effect at all for Retaliate when you pop it? Do you know?
It makes a sound and then you start glowing red on your... I don't remember exactly what part.
Red?
You'll see it now.
Lane.
You see it now.
You see telekinesis.
You see it's like this orange glow.
That's it.
It's pretty clear. Like, look at it.
Barely noticeable.
Very visible.
Barely noticeable. That needs to get buffed immediately, please. Would really appreciate that. Nisha forcing out Supreme.
Nice heads up play from Secret there, by the way. Now that we were talking about it, they identified that Oracle walked over to stack the camp, so they take immediate advantage of that to use Retaliate, because they know they won't have many options to do it. So the moment anything presents itself, you go for that. So done.
Yep. Bot lane is the one that we have not covered as of yet. Puppy's going to be playing the Ogre Magi that you brought up earlier with Matumba Man's Monkey King versus Era's Phoenix and Saberlight's Beastmaster. I'm assuming Beastmaster can transition to semi-jungle, which is kind of happening here, disrupting the waves a bit.
Yeah.
But from a Matumba Man's perspective, how easy is the farm in this lane?
It's not that easy, but Ogre is a really good wall. Oh, Saberlight's in trouble here.
He's going to get pounced on. Puppy does not have Fire Blast. No mana to speak of, but the Boundless Strike is there. And Matumba Man's Jingu Mastery does proc, so ends up taking that for himself.
Similar to the top lane there, Secret identify an opening because Phoenix Fire Spirits are on cooldown, and once they're on cooldown, the hero does nothing to Monkey King, so he can very easily run down there. If Phoenix has Fire Spirits there, Matumba Man actually dies, but then they obviously don't go for the play.
Oh, top lane. Zai just happens upon a random courier, gets the kill, so not great in terms of microing that bad boy for Nip, but no kills will come as a result.
Overall, about the bottom lane, though, this is a really good Phoenix game, I think. Like, there's Bloodlust to give some attack speed, but none of the Radiant heroes really want to hit the egg in this game. So,
do you think,
if Phoenix
with that in mind, do you think Matumba Man goes for something like Echo Saber to try to counteract that?
I think their overall plan is to stampede out of it. Like, their approach is, all right, Phoenix got picked later. We didn't really have a solution. Our approach is going to be, we have the Centaur that we pick into Troll, and we know it's not the greatest matchup with Troll Oracle, but the pros outweigh the cons. I think that's one of those situations with Secret is like, what's the big deal in this game? What's the overall plan? How do you NIP win fights? And sometimes you can pick a lane that isn't ideal as long as it's playable, because the payoff later is just way too good, right? Stampede is an amazing spell this game. It counters everything else than Roar. You just get away from everybody, so it's really solid.
Technically, it could Roar if you get Aghanim Scepter, at least the damage portion from what's to follow.
Absolutely. Could happen later.
So Supreme in the middle lane, 23-11 versus the 18-5 on Nisha, so doing quite well.
I take what I please.
About a half-level lead right now. And
got 6 first as well.
Quap is able to kind of go into the jungle a bit, but what about Death Prophet? What are her options if she needs to find some side farm? Is it really even worth it to go in the jungle?
Like the small side camp in mid is very easy to farm with Crypt Swarm, right? I think there's definitely something to be said about that.
Top lane, Zai getting initiated on, gets the hoof stomp off. Looks like the Whirling Axes will not hit. and he's able to walk away with only 150 HP. I believe he is going phase boots right now, if he did buy the boots in base. So going for the...
Nisha needs to be careful mid.
All right, we have the Shadow Strike applied. I believe a Fairy Fire was popped. Supreme, Blink, not up for 5 seconds. Going to get off the Scream of Pain. No mana to speak of as Nisha is just life leeching him away. This is going to be really close. The Shadow Strike continuing to tick him down. And Supreme finally with that last Blink, able to get the last right click and has now won this lane.
That is a really good kill. It was with a full creep wave running into the enemy tower. So he's now level 7.5 against level 6. This is a really big quap win. And like I said, I don't think this is how this lane goes on paper. Just Nisha didn't really respect the fact that Supreme hit level 6 there. He took a lot of damage in the middle of the river and then just got run down with Sonic Wave. So nice done from Supreme here to identify that. And no TP support either from Secret. I think you could have probably done something there if you really wanted to.
Supreme did have to walk all the way back to base. Didn't have any mana to blink and make it a little bit faster, so he did lose some creeps, but obviously
still well worth it. Yeah,
sure. We'll TP back
now. Showing up with double null and bottle, minute 7. And he has a lot of good stuff right now. A lot of value.
So looking at the carries farm right now, 2 and 17 on the Troll Warlord versus the 41 and 8 on Matumba Man's Monkey King. Very, very even in the tournament. And then in terms of the offlane heroes, 29 and 2 on Centaur versus the 25 and 5 Beastmaster. So really, I think both respective safe lanes are kind of a wash to some degree, I would say. Would you agree? And then mid lane is quap favored right now.
I'm pretty impressed that Matsu has the same farm as Charlie here. I don't think this is that good of a Monkey King lane. Like the Beastmaster Phoenix match was not great, but Puppy has done some serious grunt work just standing in front all the time.
Speaking of grunt work, Ogre Magi has come to the mid lane, Cinderin, but not able to get off a Fire Blast. It is quite low range right now.
That is...
Okay. It blinks into 3 enemy heroes and it's just going to get chopped down now. Pops the Fairy Fire. Another Scream of Pain, but not even remotely close to a kill.
So groovy. Like, even if he kills Nisha, I don't know if he didn't know Rubik was there. That might have been a surprise. Maybe it was like, what, didn't Rubik show before though? I think he did. He'd already fade bolted.
I thought
right?
so, yeah.
I think he saw all 3 heroes, and then he just... That was not actually even that close to a kill on Nisha. And now he kind of brought him back into the game. It's a little bit of a expensive slip up there.
His Sonic Wave had 10 seconds left. Is it like, how often do pro players not realize that something's on cooldown? I mean, it happens to everybody.
It does happen. It's true. Like, maybe that's...
It looked like he had a Sonic Wave set up. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a big one. Then you look and it's 10 seconds cooldown still. But I don't know.
It's possible.
He does TP top after respawning now. Sonic Wave is up, like we said. He's going to apply it to the most likely. There we go. And we'll get a freebie as a result. The Yaps are able to get out to safety, though. So does find a kill at the end of the day. I mean, he won mid, but then kind of fed away the lead to a degree. He is still with a level advantage over Nisha. And also the farm advantage by like 500 net worth. So yeah, it's not like the game by any means.
No, absolutely not. But Nisha will gladly take, any sort of comeback you give him. Like, when you consider how far ahead Quap was just 2 minutes ago, all of a sudden now they're tied on experience. Quap had a full level earlier on him.
Yeah.
And yeah, the gold, it's right, but Nisha's not outside of range of anything meaningful here. Time for bounty runs and outposts. Era will grab the bot one. And they can't stop Puppy from taking it back.
Absolutely.
He's just clapping there.
Very unfortunate. Nisha looks like he's going to take some heavy damage. The dive was there from Era. He's going to turn this around with the balance strike from a top. And great timing. And they find 2 kills as a result. Nisha, if I was his teammate, I'd definitely deny him there just for fun. But they'll let him go back to base.
That was so good, actually. That was like, it's one of those blink of an eye moments where you see the moment of opportunity. It's there for 1 second. Like, Matsu gets the double stun and they pop Exorcism. They need to do it right away. Just full on trust in each other and just make that play instantly. Awesome read on the situation that they could get away with that. And yeah, it's an Exorcism. You would have loved to push tower, but it's still really good to get 2 kills.
Oh, that hoof stomp. Damn, that was really good timing. I don't know if that's commonplace from pro players, so that was nice. I don't think he was any threat of actually dying. Did heavy amount of damage as I did to the tier 1 tower. Ended up using that retaliate, knowing that Oracle was nowhere near. Oracle just about to hit level 6, so we'll have the false promise to work with. It's going to smoke beforehand, though. What if you got passive XP, Synderen? What a great mechanic that could be.
Yeah.
Very close. How much XP does he need? Can you check? Oh, it's 4 experience. He wants it so that feels the worst, you know?
Yeah. It's
so
really
close yet so far. Like somebody just kill a creep, please. How good is False Promise this game? Obviously, we've seen a lot of that action with the Troll Warlord. Is that the main use throughout the entire game? Get the extra lifesteal when he's applied in his ultimate. Queen of Pain can jump in.
It's definitely a classic pairing with Troll, right? Just because it's kind of like having an Aegis if you get it off well. But there's other benefits like we talked about, the Fortune Send against Centaur, which they didn't pick it into Centaur, right? I'm remembering the drafts in the correct order, I think. Era is super dead top. Yeah, not the best Fate's Edict game. Like disarming Monkey King can be times, but if you have low level on it, the cast range really puts you in a very dangerous position to use this on the enemy carry. So yeah, I would say for the most part, False Promising the Troll, purging off Retaliate are his biggest perks right now. And of course, you can purge off Monkey King stacks too. Let's not forget that. That's also really good.
True. Saberlight did take the tier 1 tower bottom. Echo Saber was purchased by Tumbleman and is going for Deso now. How does Aghanim's Scepter work against Egg? Do you know if they attack it?
I would assume they don't, because it's your hero, right? That's a really good question, though.
Fire Blast on the Saberlight. Stampede used as well. They're going to find an easy one.
I think they play by the same rules as your ulti. And your ulti doesn't hit the egg.
Can creeps hit the egg for like a certain amount?
No.
Because they work against Tombstone, or at least they used to. Did they change that?
They can't detect the egg at all.
Okay. It's interesting. Well, maybe we'll see the mechanic, just to be sure. Nietzsche still working on his first item. Has the phase boost, of course, going for the Yule Scepter, and his counterpart, the Supreme Quap, is also going for a Yule. So, obviously, against that silence can be pretty powerful. There was a smoke. Saberlight and Suneko, they want to use this roar. And they're going to need somebody like Supreme to actually do damage.
Wow. You'd think they'd give the talent to Troll and he'd start farming Ancients like that, but maybe he doesn't need it, or they did it with Beastmaster or whatever. But
it looks like they're heading towards top. They'll need a Hawk to be able to see Matumba Man here, unless he shows himself. Maybe Air will bait.
If he randomly dove here.
Oh, the axes. Oh, they're going to see him with the Hawk, but Matumba Man's way too fast. So Smoke Gank ended up being wasted, it looks like. And you're right, yeah, Supreme with the Iron Talent is interesting. It's semi-jungling right now, because we're going to have TP support back here. How early can Troll take Roche these days?
I mean, I think technically Morbid Mask plus 1 hero should be fine. Since he doesn't batch anymore, it's a lot harder than it used to be. But if you have, say, Oracle with him, he could maybe even, I don't think he could do it now, but it's Morbid Mask plus Oracle could do it.
I'm asking a lot of mechanic questions. I have another one. Is Battle Trance sound global? I can't remember.
Yes, I think so. But it's not if the hero is in Fog, if that's what you mean. You don't know if he used it on Roche.
No, that's what I mean. Like Dismember is global.
Yeah, I think that's unique, actually.
Okay.
I think it's the only thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Good to know. Thanks for keeping me up to date, Cinder. Really appreciate that. If you have any questions about Valorant, just let me know. I know you're still waiting to get that beta. Charlie on the Troll Warlord is going for the Battle Fury. We've seen a lot of variation. Battle Fury or Maelstrom, I think, are the only two, right? To begin the game as Monkey King taking off his perch here. There's a telekinesis onto the Queen of Pain, but the False Promise will keep him alive for a little bit longer. Matumba Man looks to be super dead. A Sonic Wave will actually ensure that. Not sure if it was 100%. Sonic Wave was stolen. Yapso with a 3-man Sonic Wave. It was green. It was delicious. It was beautiful. 2 for 1 right now. The multicast onto the Troll. He's going to pop that ult. They don't have False Promise or anything like that to keep him alive any longer, so he will fall shortly after. It looks like Nip is now on the run. It's a 2 for 2. And that'll break things up.
That's great for an IP. They got the opening kill on Matumba Man, who was the top net worth hero in the game. Beatmaster never showed up, so he got top tower. This was basically a 4v5 fight that they won by getting a draw. That was a weird phrasing, but they killed 2 cores, they lost a support and a core for it, and they got a tower. Very nicely done.
Oh, Queen of Pain. Just getting harassed over and over. Just came back to the mid lane as Phoenix era. Looks like he's going to drop first here. And multicast again onto Supreme. He can't really fight right now. Saberlight used his roar, but to no avail. Will die shortly after. He took the roar.
I just love finding this out when I'm casting as Rubik. It's just, it brings back memories. GKS is like no one else with Fatebolt. It's like actually unbelievable. There's nobody in the world that kills still more with this spell than Yapsar does with Fatebolt. It's just you just need to get used to it if you're playing with him, I think. It's like these are the terms of service for you to pick me this hero that wins you games. I want kills for Fatebolt. Like, what are you gonna do about it?
I mean, he's got Arcane and he's working on Aether Lens, not super far away, so...
And like you said, he stole Roar, which is the bigger play there. That gives them a really good opportunity to... the ideal fight that they could maybe find now is where they wait for Exorcism to come up, and then they use this Roar, MVP might not be aware is stolen currently, to try to find a smoke camp where they open an Oracle. If Oracle dies, this Roar is... it's just a kill button, basically. None of the heroes will survive a Roar plus combo. Or he could Roar the Oracle to begin the fight, and then there's no save. So really, really good steal this game.
There are some good steals in general. We've seen the False Promise. We've seen the Sonic Wave. Actually, no, we haven't seen the False Promise as of yet. But 3 really good ultimates to steal. How easy is Egg? I feel like that's a difficult one, right?
It's really hard to steal. Now, it's basically, is it impossible? It is impossible.
If you have the talent, right?
It is actually impossible regardless.
Regardless?
Phoenix's AoE on the explosion of Supernova is so big that for Rubik to press you with Spell Steal, he will have time to press Fire Spirits when it ends, right?
Right.
It's just, so Phoenix just needs to instantly press Fire Spirits after Supernova and it never gets stolen.
Right. Now, into Hoof Stomp, into Death.
Now they could smoke a roleplay if they wanted to. Don't think they have a smoke though.
Matumba Man is invisible. He's a one-man smoke. They could try to set up on Supreme. He's thinking about the ultimate. This would be he actually going for it. The balance strike is there. Onto the Roar. That was the TP from Yapsor. Great synergy here. Great communication. I mean, tier 1 team. They only have the 1K network lead right now, and Nip is definitely doing a good job this game overall.
It's relatively even. The slightly concerning thing for NIP's lineup is Queen of Pain is 3 deaths, minute 19, and we know historically this hero does not fare well with dying compared to a lot of other heroes. Very much relies on that tempo.
They're going for Roche, but I was going to mention, of the games that we've cast, I know it's a small sample size, but Bop has been quite underwhelming as a hero. I don't know how I feel right now.
It's been pretty good in the patch, though, I would say. Like, we've not been spoiled with the best quad performances, I would agree with that. But the hero itself is actually in a pretty good spot right now. So I don't think the hero itself is a bad pick, not at all.
So user error, in other words. Aegis is now on Charlie, has the Treads Battle Fury ready to go. So able to take the Roche in the mix. We're going to see another Roar onto Nisha now. So that is a quick kill on the Death Prophet. That means Secret needs to get the hell out. Tier 1 tower will likely fall now. Telekinesis onto Charlie to the Fire Blast. He might actually get the Aegis is already consumed. The egg is down. Can they kill it? The Echo Saber going to work. They're going to be able to get the Phoenix. Balance strike onto 2. Sonic Wave, I just heard it. Not sure how many heroes it actually hit, though. It's a 2-for-1. Looks like they will find Tumba and the tier 1 tower. So overall, a good fight for Nip.
Very nice. Getting the opening kill is really what matters here. Secret don't have a save, so if you jump with Roar onto a core, that core dies. And yeah, the egg, maybe not the best there from Era. Perhaps they could have got an even better outcome there, but at the very least, he made Monkey King stay to kill the egg, and that got them a monkey kill. So probably good in the end, actually, for him to put that egg there. The downside, obviously, Age is gone. Maybe overextended a little bit to start. They did get Oracle ulti off. It effectively makes the fight kind of 3 for 2, right? Because that second life on Troll is really important. And they do the tower. It's getting big though. Charlie's very farmed.
Yeah, working towards his SNY. And we've kind of talked about the build variations past the Battle Fury. SNY for status resistance, of course, is a huge help against this team with the silences and all the stun and whatnot. So we're going to see a stampede by Zai just to get out of that top lane. What would you expect after the SNY? We've seen Satanic, Basher. Do those sound reasonable?
I think he might go Abyssal this game after SNY, before Satanic, just so he can jump on top of that Monkey King and ruin his fight. The DP. Whoever the Roar target is, being able to follow up, chain, connect, or go on a secondary hero in the meantime could be really, really useful.
So
I don't like if he goes Satanic, I think. I feel like that's it's a bit too defensive considering he already has an Oracle covering him, right? Like, I'd rather see them put the pressure through his itemization.
Yeah. So we're going to see a smoke here from Secret as Nisha is leading the charge. Oh, this is a good hit to Charlie. Exorcism into the Fire Blast multicast. Mega dead. Zai with the random stomp onto trees, just making sure everyone knows he hates trees, which means he's going to be playing Timbersaw next game, most likely, as they find the Oracle as well.
Yeah. Very, very good smoke. They knew Charlie's movement trajectory after he killed that bottom area. They have really good wards down there, so they knew he was walking top left. And the sounds from Nisha clipping on the Oracle there and Troll prevents both of their saves from going out. So very nicely done.
Zai missing a little bit of some there as Matuma comes in. Roar is used just to get out. So overall, YapzOr very sad he couldn't steal, although he does have Sonic Wave. So he's still in like basically every ult in the game right now.
All fortified.
What would you rather have? Sonic Wave or Roar? I assume Roar.
I think I'd rather have Sonic Wave right now, probably.
Oh.
Just because the Roar does have a counter in the Oracle. And Sonic Wave is insane damage on the Rubik. It is so strong. It's gonna be put to use here, maybe.
I mean, we talk about his farm, and well, we're gonna talk about that in just a moment. Supreme comes in with the Shadow Strike, another multicast onto the Troll Warlord, who's already at half health. Demeko in the back though, so he is safe with the False Promise. Supreme jumps in onto Zai. Don't think they're gonna be able to get any kills here. See if they want to force the issue. Roar is down. Yeah. Saberlight posturing here.
And YapzOr keeps poking Charlie because he just wants Charlie to drop slightly below half, and then he can blast him with the Sonic Wave out of nowhere. But Charlie's regen here really strong. Beastmaster has mech, they have the Vlad's Oracle save, tons of healing on their side.
Yeah, YapzOr not only has the Aether Lens, it's actually close to a Blink Dagger. I'm sure Ag or something after the fact. Another multicast from Puppy. It's unfortunate he's not using the Arcana. I'm sure he'd be leveling up that gem real fast with as many multicasts as he's getting this game. Maybe next.
Only works in pub games sometimes. But you're probably joking. Yeah,
of course.
Why am I even pointing that out? You know everything
I'm
about
a cosmetic
cosmetics
god.
and nothing about Dota.
How dare you? I'm Cinder and SNY being built by Charlie, like I said. Okay. Oh, I wanted to bring this up. Obviously, I agree that Basher is probably the right choice here into Satanic, but there is a world where Scott at some point is really good at this game against the likes of DP. They're building the Spirit Vessel right now, yeah, and against the Jingu as well from Monkey King. But Scotty with that negative health regeneration, or Amplify, I should say, has some use. I mean, Scotty's it's a solid item. Just I don't know when you can fit it in. It's like fit item or something. Game's probably over by then.
Yeah, that's still the problem that Scotty has as an item, right? It's like when does it feel right in your build? It's like very select heroes that want it for the stats. Like a hero like Medusa might start considering it a bit more again, perhaps, because it's so much health for that hero. But then you're playing Medusa, which nobody's playing right now. So
yeah,
not really seeing it much.
Right now, Charlie has Satanic queued up, so he's going to disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
and just go for that extra status resist.
I get it. Like, you're playing against a lot of Suns, and maybe you don't want to have to rely on your Oracle, but I think it could backfire in the sense that you might start running into a wall where when Monkey King has a BKB and DP has a BKB, and you have this Centaur on your team that's almost got a pipe, that you might run into damage trouble. Like, Queen of Pain is notorious for not scaling insanely into this later portion of the mid game. It's a very strong early mid-game hero, and then it's a very strong late-game hero. There's a span right now where Quap's damage isn't dangerous for a while, especially when you have BKB, so it's only the Sonic that you're worried about. If Troll can step up and get the kills, Phoenix will have the same problem, right? You're hitting this weak point when these BKBs can be able to compensate. But maybe if he weathers the storm, the Satanic could make for a big fight where he tanks stuns, stays alive barely, gets ulti off, and maybe they swing it. Gonna have to win some.
Well, Era, this is interesting. Might have to hold that thought as Charlie takes an invisibility room. But Nisha and company know this. Nip still forcing the issue though. Multicast again on the Beastmaster. Puppy gets a nice fire blast off DP top by Nisha. He's gonna get Exorcism off. Sonic Wave to follow. Yules to keep the DP alive a little bit longer. Will attempt to kill this. The roar just in time as Era stuns the entirety of Team Secret, it feels like. Nisha's gonna be the second fall. Both cores are dead. And with this, Nip should be able to help clean up. A nice stomp here from Zai, but it looks to be his death as well. Very beautiful fight from Nip. Is able to find the 3 cores.
Oh my, that could not have been any more perfect from the Beastmaster. Era had 1 HP on the egg. And Manzu was about to hit it. He saw Beastmaster coming over, so he actually tried to Boundless Strike to buy himself the time to get the final hit in. But as he lifts the staff, he gets stunned by Beast. They get the egg off. Really, really nice from an IP. They're playing some really good fights this game.
Yeah, for sure. And the scary thing is, if they win a fight, in terms of Team Secret's perspective, they can ridiculously fast with the combination of Beastmaster Troll.
Really, really.
They're going to get that without issue. Of course, Roshan is not up yet, so they'll just have to farm the jungle a bit. Of course, the death timers are a little bit low right now, so you can't really get much more regardless. But the thing I want to talk about, Cinderin, well, you can go first. I'll let you go first.
I was going to say something I feel like from watching how Secret play teamfights, something I would like to see a bit more from them was I'd like Ogre to frontline a little bit more. And he's going to die, but Puppy only has 1 death on Ogre right now, and if he can somehow find a way to just run him in, and after he casts the Fire Blast, actually start tanking, it might be...
Roar Sonic Wave combination, but Beastmaster is dead. The Supreme will have to blink out the safety. Silence on the way to dispel that, but is in the tree line here, using Fogboard as advantage, and will live. But,
what is happening in these fights is that Secret initiate, they got a 2-man stomp, and they got a good Fire Blast off. And NIP kind of just go on the course, and I think maybe if Ogre is a little bit, it's hard to say, like maybe they can just ignore him regardless and it doesn't matter, right? But showing a bit more presence and maybe being willing to tank up a bit more damage for his team could perhaps bait better conditions for the DP and the Monkey King in the coming fight. But that said, Roar is doing a really good job at focus firing, right?
Knowing that Roar and Sonic Wave are down means that this is a free Roche. So, great recognition from Secret. I'm sure if Nip could take it back, they would use neither of those spells, since it didn't result in anything. So that is going to be an Aegis for your Monkey King. And
you had something you wanted to talk about like 1 minute ago, when you let me go first.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about
cosmetics?
Era. Well, I always want to talk about cosmetics, but Era's build... Vessel very normal, and then the Philosopher's Stone, the dream for any Phoenix player.
Super good on Phoenix.
Like the days of the gold talent that he used to have, which everybody would take, and the Hand of Midas actually. But is actually going Ag's second item. I'm not sure if I've seen this. Usually it's like a Shiva's or something to that respect if you get enough farm. What do you think of Ag's? I love the item, don't get me wrong.
It has been getting more popular lately, especially when the Ags let you use Sunray during the egg, but that got changed into a level 20 talent. So it definitely got nerfed in that respect. But I think what he's identifying here is that the way Secret are going to take fights is that they will engage on one target, and they're going to have to commit pretty hard on that target while they keep Oracle away. So if you get a secondary save so that Oracle is not the only way to initiate the fight and guarantee kills, you make the initiation for the Radiant team like 3 times harder. Because now they don't need to only account for the Oracle and get him down, just get a position. There's always going to be the secondary save that, like we talked about pre-game, they don't really have good ways of killing the egg. Right? Like, it's actually really difficult. So when he gets level 18 in Supernova with Axe, it feels like an almost guaranteed save to me in many fights. So it will be really good in this game.
Which begs the question of the Satanic again, back to that top gun, Charlie. He's just about to finish here with that Claymore. So they're going to have, in essence, 3 saves for Charlie, if you want to count the Satanic, or even his ult, another form of save, I suppose.
Yep.
Is it too much though?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the damage right now?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I mean, you saw the fight mid, the damage, but it's getting a lot harder. DP now has a plate mill and a craggy coach, so she just got 22 armor since the last fight that she didn't have before. And that is, for this dire lineup, when she's BKB, there's only one guy dealing damage. It's the troll. Right. I mean, Beastmaster, negligible. There's a little bit of a Sonic Wave, but nothing that will kill a DP. So I think I'm a bit concerned once again for the damage aspect here. Puppy getting...
Puppy literally multicast every fire bust I've seen this game, by the way. Except for the ones pre-level 6.
75%, man. Like,
Radiant's middle tower is not.
Wait, what level is he?
He's level 14. But level 1 is already 75%.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's been buffed a lot over the
75%.
years.
It's been literally like 10 in a row. Very lucky. Just say it with me. Very lucky.
Very lucky.
Thank you. Matumba Man does have his 10-second BKB now, so to go along with his Paladin sword, actually picked up.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that just happened for it to be in a really good spot in this game. It looked very, very for NIP where they got that big fight, but the immediate follow-up smoke from Seeker that got them kill top into Roche, then getting 2 BKBs, 2 tier 3 items that are really good for their lineup. They're so much stronger than they were before. I think for NIP, there's a lot of pressure on, I would say, mainly the Beastmaster and the Phoenix, actually. In their lineup innately doesn't have very much lockdown, so the Roar has to land on a key target at the right time, and you need an egg to come off. I don't think you're favored in fights unless these two things do happen consistently. The egg could technically get broken, and you can win the fight if it's a good one.
Warlord, and it's good hard. Here comes the Wukong's Oracle doesn't have that Ghost Scepter, but he's going to die shortly after Supreme. It looks like Seeker are going to focus onto Saberlight's Beastmaster. Gets off the Roar, but dies shortly after. So another wasted one in the grand scheme of things. And it was stolen again by Yapsor, who is working towards that Aghanim Scepter. So a nice pick off here for Secret. They still have Cheese. They still have Aegis. Not sure how much longer that's going to last, actually. Only maybe another minute, maybe. Minute or 2. Either way, they're looking pretty good. I mean, this opens it up for them to, like, they don't even have to go for these kills necessarily. They're pretty close to some big items. The Shiva is only a recipe away, essentially, from Nisha. Has a huge one. And Zaya Halberd. And about 1,000 gold.
Power is falling.
They take the tier 2.
So how long does Halberd last on Troll now? So, like,
I'm going to say 4 seconds.
It's way less. He has a lot of status resistance.
Oh, with status resistance.
So it's 3 seconds on melee targets minus... It's not very long. I actually don't even know how good Halberd is this game now. The Troll has Noi Satanic. You might have been better off. Huh?
He's on
co-op, yeah. I think he might have been better off getting something else, perhaps. But it can still come in clutch, right? Even 2 seconds or a second and a half in Dota makes all the difference sometimes. But you've got to consider that, you know,
Charlie to run into 3 heroes, gets the whirling axes off. Saberlight jumps in. Looks like they're going to focus on the Matumba Man, who pops his BKBs in a 1v2 battle right now. Beautiful. Sonic Wave is actually stolen from Supreme, and they're going to focus on the Matumba Man again. And 80 seconds of no Monkey King as he was just left to his own devices. And Secret just bolts.
A couple of nice plays there. The Roar from Yapsor are really good, but the save from Saneko just as good. Beastmaster was super low, gets saved, turns around and roars Matu himself, and then they take that fight knowing that there's no exorcism. That's why they wanted to play so aggressive there. And this is a big moment. You have 1 minute without the enemy top net worth hero. You can definitely get something done.
Spirit Vessel is applied. Hooks Stomp does miss, though. They're trying to purge that off is Saneko. And here comes the Satanic, healing Charlie up to full HP. So they want to continue here. They want to force out the buyback that does not exist. Ult actually used by Troll. He's forced into the enemy base now. It's an interesting.
Not very good.
Yeah, a whole lot. They've only done 500 damage to this tower.
See the limitation of not having stuns there, right? Like, the enemy position 1 is down, but you don't have Roar, so every time Troll tries to do something offensive, they just lift and toss him away, or Yule him, or stun him with Ogre. I thought they would be able to do a little bit more in that tower. Good defense from Secret to not really give Troll a moment to breathe and hit it. Just all the time harassing him with spells. slowing him down, and no Monkey King's up. So they will back out. That's still a nice sequence from NIP, right? They got, I think, did they get all 4 bounties this time? They got 4 runes, a monkey kill, and access to mid. Not bad.
I think they only gained 1k net worth in that time, surprisingly. I believe they were up 1k at the time, but either way, they still technically have the lead, but it's a very close game. I think a lot of this will come down to the next Roche fight, which will drop either the Aghanim Scepter or Refresher Shard. Let's hope it's an Aghanim Scepter, because that's the best one.
Like you pointed out with Centaur, he's now going for the Aghanims that you could be good this game. I agree with that. And I do feel like now that you see the game play out a bit, I don't know if this Halberd is enough value compared to, he could have gone Eggs, could have got a Vlad's for his team, maybe. Really good this game, but maybe Ogre will get that. He will, so that's fine. But yeah, Aghanim sounds good.
It gives him status resist evasion. Like, what about the rest of the stats? The evasion?
Sure.
Does it still not work to some degree?
I mean, definitely not a bad item by any means, but I don't think you really buy Halberd unless the active is good or you're a Buskar, right? Those are the 2 reasons. I don't think it's enough value for what it costs if the Halberd active doesn't feel very good. And like I said before, it can be good, right? If you get the perfect timing on the troll, if you get it right before ult or during a key moment where this 1.5 seconds or whatever distance it's going to be makes the difference, then it's good. I'm just looking at alternatives, right? Like what else from his team could be good? Because I think every other itemization that I see here, I like all of the other items they've bought. That I'm questioning a little bit if it's the best.
Yapsor finished the Aghanim Scepter just now. He's really itching to use Sonic Wave because it's about to run out. As Charlie's going to be spotted. It looks like Secret will get out to safety. BKB now finished. Actually, he's had it, I guess. Supreme at the 9-second BKB. Almost done with his Shivas. About 70 gold from finishing that. But I do want to talk about these neutral items. We're just going to have to wait for this fight, most likely. Smoke by Secret, with some men leading the way. They know the general vicinity that Nip is in. Puppy's going to break, gets off the ward. You can see plain and clear. He did not multicast. 75%. He did not multicast, ladies and gentlemen. It happened. Supreme is going to get caught off guard again. A Sonic Wave finishes him off. And with that, will Nip try to back? No, they're going to continue on as the buyback is here from the Queen of Pain. False comments on Charlie, maybe a little bit prematurely. Saberlight getting completely focused inside the Monkey King ult. Egg did go all the way through the animation, so stuns the entirety of Team Secret. But Air is just going to fall very shortly after. And I believe that was the Beastmaster ult again being stolen and used on his own team. Charlie looks to be donezo. 4-4-0 as Secret. Sorry, 5-0 with a buyback from Quap.
Man, that was such a huge outplay the way they set that up. So Puppy drops the ward. They see the troll, but they're obviously not going to commit on him because he's way too protected and hard to kill. They just start poking, and this poke makes NIP start to move into the area, and then they still do a full wraparound with the rest of the team fighting Quap in the river, making quick way for just this little bit of out of position play from Supreme ends up giving them a 5-0 fight. Like if Quap doesn't get caught like this fight doesn't really happen on these terms, but they're so quick to make this decision and get the kill. That was quick.
Matama Man or Zai?
Matsu.
Who do you think should get this? It goes to Matama Man. I think you can make a case for either because Zai's gonna have a harder time farming this game.
Yeah, but Zai wants to buy it, and Matu doesn't, right? I think. Yeah. So that might be what's guiding them.
All right, pay attention to the egg Synderen, okay? Will the monkeys attack the egg? You're 90 sure? What percentage would you say you are? Oh, that's a good idea.
4.
4% sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very confident. For Synderen, that's very confident. Stampede cooldown talent taken. -20, so I believe it's 50 seconds now. Oh wait, they nerfed that a long time. It's 90 to 70. God damn. What happened to my Centaur? Jesus. Filth. Well, Abyssal finished on Monkey King. So Matumba has a 5k net worth lead over everybody in the game and is looking very strong. Even as a tree, he looks menacing. I mean, that haste rune and Bloodlust is the map.
Poking Charlie while they jump the back line.
Yeah, Beastmaster still has the roar. Supreme looks like he's going to help finish off Puppy here, but there's the jump in. Sonic Wave is used by Supreme with the BKB activated. Nisha Pushka gets off Exorcism. Troll's going to pop his ult and stay alive, but for how long is the question? Matama Man gets the Wukong's command off. There's the false promise from Charlie. Onto Charlie, I should say, is Matama Man will lose the Aegis. See if Troll won't be able to live any longer here. He gets popped after the false promise ends. Does have buyback, but this Exorcism being out for a decent amount of duration now. Seneko is deleted off the map. Troll Warlord buys back into the game, but there's the patented multicast from Puppey. Charlie getting some heals. Stomp is going to fake in from Zai. Looks like they'll be able to get another kill here as Matama Man getting quite low. He's going to get healed a little bit. Looks like he might go down to that dot. We'll see that the Phoenix Egg is basically impossible to kill at this point. Matama Man did live as a result of the heals coming out.
He stole it on Yaps.
He stole Egg! He did it!
He actually got it.
Basically impossible, he says.
Maybe with Lens, and he doesn't have the catch.
Yes. I was gonna say.
Really quick, I don't...
Well,
that's a
Zai died, but the balance strike leads the buyback on the Oracle. Looks like Era is next, and this could be the beginning and end of game 1. Although DP gets ward, so they will find a very important kill. So Secret might have to back now. The Zapsor TP's out to safety, leaves Matama Man, who just wants to man fight his way to base. BKB TPs. So I don't know how many fights that was, but I believe Nip had a 1K net worth lead, Cinderin, about 2 minutes ago. And that's a 16K swing here.
It's been a really, really big last 5 minutes for Secret, for sure. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly, like, okay, so what's Rubik's cast range on spell steal? When he has Ag's Lens, he might actually be able to steal it. That might be what is needed. If you can outrange the Egg Explosion with those 2 items, that's why he got it. Because I was looking at Era, and I think he instantly pressed... Oh, he's dead.
Oh my.
Basically instantly pressed Fire Spirits when he came out of Egg, and Yapsor still got it. So that means he has to be able to stand at a range and grab it. So it has to be this exact item combination that gets it.
Wait, does
Does
Phoenix Egg stun instantly, or is it like a wave? Like from far
instant.
distance? So all of it is instant?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he just has to have the range then. Easy peasy. Yapsor for the win. And he still has, I mean, he has another egg coming up, so.
So the egg radius is 1300, and what's Rubik's cast range on spell steal with eggs? Unfortunately, you can't see that in the game, but that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just can't see it.
Sometimes.
I'm trying to figure out how impressive this play is. Like if Yapsor needs...
He could get 2 eggs off in one fight, I suppose.
This guy is bottom tower.
So Matama Man has an extra slot. Looks like Satanic will be the choice, but I assume we'll try to save for buyback just in case. But still looking very, very, very strong right now. Zai is not going for Ags anymore. He's like, I didn't get the one free from Roche. Okay, I'm not buying it then. I only take free items.
Oh, fuck you guys.
Havoc Hammer, of course, kind of I want to say a bit of an underwhelming item, but obviously the heroes that it's good on would be strength. Those that gain a lot of strength, and Centaur is certainly one of them.
Radiant's top tower's under attack.
I wonder if it clears an entire wave.
How much is it?
Maybe not yet.
1 times strength. That's... No, it's not enough. But it's a lot of damage though, still. It's like 400.
Man, the Abyssal Blade off. He's trying to kill the Beastmaster. To save him in the meantime. Pushes him back. The double egg now is actually going to go off, but the green egg is coming for you, Nip, says Yapsor. See what else he steals. Beastmaster does end up falling. Supreme has to blink out to safe. The buyback onto the Beastmaster, of course, his roar is down, and looks like Secret wants to retreat with that buyback.
That was really nicely done from an IP regardless. They get the egg off as the save, and then the Sonic Wave pushes the enemy team away. They actually were in line to get that egg there. They have enough attack damage in it, or attack speed rather, now with the Monkey King Bloodlust this late into the game and 2 other heroes hitting. But Very nice save there coming in from Supreme. Still not
that
enough
one
though.
was kind of in their face, right? So that feels like if it's off to the side, it's going to be much more difficult. You
Oh,
can
for sure. Then
isolate,
they're
like,
never getting it. But you kind of need to get it in their faces at this point. Like we talked about, NIP are struggling with damage issues, so they need everything they can get. Quap has built almost purely defensive items. Troll has built largely defensive items. It's just not enough oomph, I think, in this game.
Did you say oomph?
Oomph.
Oomph.
Dire is scared
Okay,
for enemies.
gotcha.
I said oomph, but you know, whatever you like.
Depends on your region of choice, I suppose, and how they pronounce that. Beautiful, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Charlie is working towards a BKB now. So, just, I don't know. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice, but it just feels like overkill on defensive items.
Yeah.
Like the Basher is nice.
It does.
Doesn't finish the Abyssal, but it's not like bad 5 damage. What would you have gone in this case?
In
Instead
this
of
slot?
BKB? Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, it almost feels like he has to, but it's a problem that if you go SNY Satanic and then you need BKB after, it wasn't the right route, or
Why wasn't the right choice then, right?
I think that was
We talked
okay.
about, well, it's more if you're going to go Satanic anyway. That's status resist.
Yeah, I think SNY was fine, and then I think the Satanic should have probably been another item, and then he could have got Satanic. That's my opinion here. Like they had a good timing in the game with damage, where they could have maybe taken a good fight with more damage from Troll, and then he could get Satanic later, and then BKB 6th item. Like when the disables become overwhelming, even for your status resistance build.
Right.
But
Nisha picks up arguably the best tier 4 item, Spell Prism.
Power ain't looking too
20% CDR, so his Exorcism is 87 seconds now. Also has the Octarine, which helps in conjunction. It's multiplicative now, so it's not quite as OP as it used to be, but it's still quite good. Tier 2 tower, Charlie's going to claim it for himself, but they're going to have to TP back here shortly, I assume, as Nip will just start walking into their base. Mathama with that Aghanim Scepter, ready to go. They're going to force the fort. And Roshan is up. So this is the Ags Refresher Shard Rosh. I believe that Centaur may be getting his Ags here.
Quabilu.
Centaur ult. Yeah, they used it and completely wasted.
they were like, oh, Supreme is there again. Exact same spot in the river.
They believed it. They believed
It's
it.
very believable.
Yeah, I don't think they can go for this without picking at least one off. Especially with Phoenix. I think Phoenix with that egg can position himself really easily to just never be able to get killed. And Charlie looks like they're going for it. Will this be the Troll Ags game, Cinderin? Well, we've always wanted to see. Probably Supreme will take it if they're able to finish it off.
Yeah, I think so. Give it to Quap.
The other Ags on the team are actually kind of garbage. Beastmaster's Axes. Oh, Sonic Wave is used as a zoning mechanism. So Refresher Shard and Ags on the Queen of Pain, and Charlie, of course, takes the Aegis.
Really nice from an IP to identify that they can go for this, and Secret will be hesitant to fight there without their Stampede. I'm honestly surprised they didn't try. I think Secret had a good shot in that fight with just their item advantage. I think that was probably good enough if they could get in, but maybe they felt hesitant without smoke.
Not that it was should be noted that Supreme used that Sonic Wave before he picked up the Aghanim Scepter, so it's still going to be on cooldown here. The fight breaks out. Matoma Man jumps in onto the Beastmaster, a huge boundless strike, but the false promise will keep Saberlight alive, able to TP out, or blink TP. Roar used on the Queen of Pain, and he actually stole Blink, so he's going to have a double Blink on Yapsor, his favorite combination, and Queen of Pain finds her way to the grave, but does have buyback.
So they got Shadow Blade, so maybe he can get away here. Yep, didn't find him.
That's interesting. Why Shadow Blade and not... Well, he had the amulet for a while.
Yeah, I think he's like, my job in this game is to get an ulti off. So whatever gives me the longest freedom in the fight to not get discovered is the best item, right? I like Shadow Blade here. It's good. Like, usually you would go Glimmer, but...
You don't see Shadow Blade and Ghost Scepter on the same inventory slot, but today you do. Charlie opts the ult to stay alive. Of course, still has his Satanic, and Seneko, no false promise for 30 seconds as Matumba Man getting destroyed, and nobody's able to help him. And with Nip just continues on. Charlie beat the living crap out of him. And they're going to try to force some buybacks now. But, well, then again, Queen of Pain is dead. Does not want to buy back.
Yeah. You're probably not going to get more out of that than what you just did. But at the very least, you defended your base. You didn't lose Aegis or the Refresher. Who had the cheese? I still on Beastmaster. They actually have all 3 items still on the Dire. And I think Radiant have none. They've used all. Yeah. So still NIP, I mean, it's not... They're not in the good position, but it's the item advantage that they have from that Roche still intact. They have a really good shot in the next fight. Imagine they get off 2 eggs, for example, and one of them saves. That's a really good fight. I think Secret need to be a little bit careful now.
That is value.
To drop the ball.
All right. I don't want to backseat here too much. I think giving the Aghanims to Monkey King was a mistake. I think the Centaur one would have been way better so far in these fights. Potentially.
Well, I thought he was going to buy it himself, right? And then he changed his mind. Considering he ended up not buying it, I'm kind of with you. You might have wanted to give it to the Sen.
He does almost have enough to build it. He's going for AC now. He finished the Lotus Orb, which is super value, of course. Maybe just banking on that Roshan. I feel like if you're banking on the Roshan, it's probably... it's a little ambitious at times, depending on how the game's going. I mean, they do have the 16k net worth lead. It doesn't feel like it, though. It feels like an advantage, like you said. Don't get entered into the net worth at all. Could make a huge swing here.
They need to find the fight, though. That's the challenge. They have 2 minutes left on their Aegis. They could, but then they lose their Aegis, right? I think Secret will be happy to wait out the Aegis and then try to fight into Cheese Refresher instead of, NIP forcing them to. Because, in my opinion, NIP would actually be able to start looking at high ground here. When you have 2 lives on Troll, you have 2 eggs that both save, and an Oracle ult, you're not... Like, your conditions are not going to be better than this until the next Roche. Even if you outfarm Secret by like 2,000 gold, I don't think it's enough.
Oh, wait, Charlie. Gonna get gone on here to fight. Boundless Strike misses.
Whoops.
Look at Rubik. So Yapsor not only has the Arcane Supremacy, but a Timeless Relic. I mean, what a dream.
His roar lasted, I think, 7 seconds earlier on the quad.
7?
Something like that.
Good.
Like, no joke. Like, roar is 4 seconds stun duration, right? Then you have Arcane Supremacy for another 40%. And then you have another 25%. So 65% on top of 4. That's almost 7. It's like
I know that Telekinesis talent at 25 was the right choice, but imagine the 40% spell amp in conjunction with both of those other things we mentioned. And he steals Sonic away.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Puppy.
It's going to be found out here that the roar is there.
He stole Axis.
Not steal it this time. Yep. Axis is unfortunate, but it is the Aghanim's Axis, so you could use that to full effect as Troll Warlord. The Aegis intact inside the Wukong's command. That's a level 25 talent one. And Zai getting beat down as the egg will break here. Not break, but hatch. I guess that's the right way to talk about it. Centaur buys back into the game as it looks like Ogre Magi. Puppy will have to die and buy back. They still want to fight. Nietzsche pops the Shivas. Still has his BKB. It's a 7-second one. And this is on balance. Back up to 2. Hooks off to follow. There's the stolen egg again. Are you serious? And they're going to finally kill the Nip egg. They do have buybacks in full. And Master will be the 4th to fall. Now, what else can they get here? They need to force out the buybacks, but then they'll have to retreat. And Aegis, I should say the Rohan is not quite up yet. Looks like Supreme wants to take out the waves here to prevent as much damage as possible.
They do have a wave mid though, so these buybacks have to come out. Secret can end the game too quickly.
Fortification. Quap is sitting on 8k gold, by the way. I don't think he's going to have time to go shopping either. There's the roar. On the man. He's going to stay safe for now, but a Sonic Wave completely decimates him. Charlie's going to use his Abyssal Blade on top of the Death Prophet. Pops the BKB finally. There's the Stampede. And it looks like Supreme is going to continue on here. Shadow Strike will slow. And Charlie is going to attempt to beat down Nietzsche. Lotus Orb is applied, and Matama Man did buy back into the game, by the way. Going to be showing here. He gets off his ult, but the Death Prophet's going to die. We'll buy back into the game. Exorcism is still up. Abyssal Blade onto the Beastmaster. He's going to eat his cheese. He's going to attempt to get out, but he's going to get bashed inside that Wukong's command. So Matama Man will claim him. That is a dieback Beastmaster. False Promise applied to Charlie, but there's not a whole lot these supports can do at this point. And linking in is Supreme with a 9,000 gold. Unfortunately, that gold does not apply to your damage. shape, or form. Charlie, finally the false promise ends, and he dies shortly after. 120 seconds on the deck. Looks like Nip will be falling here and taking the first loss in this best-of-3 series. But well fought. I still can't get over how much gold Supreme is sitting on.
Yeah.
GGs are called. Ay, ay, ay. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have made a difference if he could have had another S tier item in that slot. It looks like he wanted to get Octarine. I don't think that's the difference maker. A little bit short. Man, that was a really good game. I think both teams playing awesome team fights, making really good decisions. NIP getting the Roshans that they did really extended the game, which was great shot calling.
VG Gaming's turn to pick.
You're gonna pick Troll. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but I think that's what they're gonna pick here.
Radiant pick.
Vici.
Storm Spirit.
The Storm Spirit. All right. So there is some lockdown to be wary of, especially in the form of the Earthshaker, but you've got, you know, a couple of decent disables to cover for you. Disruptor can always just bomb. A little
Anti-mage.
Choose your hero.
okay, they anti-mage. All right. I guess the storm pick is pretty juicy, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's decent lane against the Mars. It is certainly a good counter against the storm. They're going to have a lot of potential to keep waves shoved out, scout things out with the Venomancer, play the whole map split, buy time for the anti-mage to get his stuff, but also you are playing up against this Juggernaut, so you have to face the possibility that Vici might just be running down lanes and taking some early objectives, picking up a Deso somewhere between these two heroes. And there is always that little bit of time. Well, I guess it's not so much anymore with the counterspell, but there is always a little bit of a window where the Storm Spirit can kind of hunt the anti-mage. I guess it used to be more of a thing when like Orchid Rush was more popular on the Storm. Really, it seems like the Bloodstone build has completely taken over these days. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. It's an SCCC anti-mage. I'm certainly not complaining, but my confidence in this hero is not super high. We'll just have to wait and see. That's all I can say. Sorry about the yawning, folks. I do not think that this game is going to be a snooze test. Should be an interesting one. And we're just sliding forward. All right. I wonder if we're going to see like the Mask of Madness Ags build as well this game, or if he feels like he needs to go maybe even something like earlier and more aggressive. Could even see like an old school bass drum kind of setup, something along those lines. So much of this game hinges on the Venomancer. I think that they need the Venomancer off to a decent start, because the Venomancer is a really big stopgap hero this game for just buying time for the anti-mage to do his thing, right? They need the Plague Wards to defend the buildings, they need the Plague Wards for vision, they just need the damage from the Poison Nova to take some of these early fights before the anti-mage is really able to contribute that much. I like this kind of concept. I like when you've got, I mean, I think of them as springboard heroes, when you've got like a really hard carry, like the, well, not a super hard carry, but a carry that needs space, like the anti-mage. So if you have a hero like a Brewmaster or a Veno or something like that, one of these heroes that has a lot of power in the early game just off of levels, then make up for your deficits in early fights. There's no way you buy Ring of Tarak on anti-mage, right? There's no way that this is a thing. Surely you just go Ring of Health. What is this man doing? Okay, so we got PYW on the Disruptor. DY is going to be playing the Grim Strokes. Did just have the Disruptor in the off lane here. I think he's going to be going for a Bassi. And it is going to be 3 bounties for Vici. I think they also got 3 in the previous game. So already getting off to a little bit of a hot start. And for those of you who weren't watching the previous series, a reminder, in the last 6 series, 6 series plus this one, Vici are now 12-0 over Aster. Definitely a really big win if Aster can claim it here, get a little bit of momentum back in the series, and take us out to a game 3, but it just remains to be seen if that is possible. This creep is a little bit healthy. Neither one of them wanted to be the first one to hit it. And Ori, one more remnant to get the range creep maybe. Yeah, alright, there you go. What's going on over here, Fade? So DY is up here just by himself. The Jug is now TPing over DY. This is a slightly long TP because of the Jug TP. Oh no! And that is going to cost him his life. Fade picking up the first blood. Alright, that is very nice for this the Shaker Veno lane. Where was Eurus actually? What was he doing? Because I could have sworn he was on the top side, but well, chance pretty well on this matchup thus far. PYW looking for a little more pressure on the anti-mage. You're going to be a little wobble before SC picks up a point in the counter spell. And the days of anti-mage skilling like 1-1-1 stats. Oh, that was... Oh boy, that was a meta. Steer onto Bavoka. This is damage. They don't have the Thunderstrike though, so no real chance of a kill. A couple of saps getting popped out as SC is already out. He didn't actually buy Ring of Thrask right now. He's just getting some more regen ferried. He's got the Ring of Health queued up now, which I think is a little bit more sane. Ori, it's still not the highest farm here, as Fade is continuing to block things off, making life a little bit harder. DY just with the single pull, but this is going to push out pretty quickly. The Vool's doing the best that they can, but they're not going to be able to clear that wave. So Venomancer already level 3. This is a really nice start for him. But Eurus is getting good CS up here. Though I don't just aiming for CS in this situation. Really a very kill-focused lane. He's got the Orb of Venom and the boots already picked up, but you know, Astra having a good start. Veno already tanking up a little bit, picking up the bracers, so might be a bit more difficult to find these kill combinations than they were hoping. And Fade just gonna try and slap down the courier. He does get it. You're putting on pressure, but also taking some pressure in return. Fade thinking about the Fissure to get a bit of damage going. And Eurus doesn't have any regen left. You have salve on this Grimstroke, but Eurus is just getting auto attack down. Thinks about stopping for the Plague Ward. And does need to get back to the safety of DY to get this full salve out. But across the board, CS looking quite good for Vici. What's going on here? Baboka does get a single pull going, but PYW and Yang just running at him, and Yang sitting on a pretty tidy stack of mangoes. So he's always got emergency mana if he needs it. 4-minute rune coming up. We've already got a bottle on Ori, so he really wants this, but Fade is just getting over, so should be able to secure it. And it is actually bottom instead. DY comes TPing in now. Can he protect this? Well, Ori's gonna have to take the long way around. DY still hoping to hold on to it. Fade trying to get in there, but to know that everything will cool down for the Storm Spirit, and at the end of the day, we'll still be grabbing that bottle refill. It's a lot of support attention to the mid lane, but I guess it does go to show you that this, the outcome of the mid lane. I was talking about the Venomancer being important, right, for what will end up happening in the overall course of this game, but also a similar situation for the Ember. But Eurus cannot be very happy with what's going on here. He's just getting super pressured. XXS is already level 5. And DY after TPing over to mid, kind of just leaving him all by his lonesome. This could be a situation where we see the Juggernaut retreating into the jungle relatively early. Bounty Rune coming up. Not the fastest rotation. PYW coming over to grab at least one of the bottom one. Gonna leave the other one for Ori, who does have the Invis 6 to go for. Nice spin from Eurus, but is that actually going to keep him alive? Looks like it will. At bottom, Baboka and SCCC making a move on Yang. And they are able to bring him down. Actually, not even that much damage being done by the anti-mage there. It's just the 2 points in the Frost Blast from Baboka. And Lich is one of these few that are left with an amazing early game nuke. Look at this thing. 100 damage with a 7-second cooldown. There it is.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, I guess it's 200,
Dire
right?
structures are fortified.
They'll be battling. Doesn't want to let the pull happen. Taking some auto attacks. He does have a Fairy Fire and one, so he should be fine. Chain's not going to connect, but here comes the Remnants, and that will be a fast kill. PYW looking for a little bit of a turnaround. Does have the kinetic field catching up. The Fairy Fire is still there. DY running in to really need this kill on the Ember if they can get it. And they will clean it up. Fade now getting silenced. Won't be able to get off another enchant totem as he does get clips back as well by PYW. Alright. So at least they get the turnaround on mid. That is a lot of support action on mid lane. He has 2 full bracers and an urn. So any dreams of just killing him with spin are kind of long gone. Ori rotates up here, but the Plague Ward already scouting. So this is going to be a little bit of a wasted rotation for the Storm Spirit. Man, they really wanted to extract this Venomancer thorn in their side, but lane not really in an amazing position. And once again, XXS just able to chase after Eurus.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's not a lot that he can do about this. Like, he's gonna kind of call DY over, but already losing half of his HP. That harassment. What's happening over here? Oh, Eurus. Ooh, loses the healing ward. Just fake him out. Alright, He's going to be okay with the spin. DY is super dead, though. Going to leave this one for X Success. Get those earn charge on. And over on the bottom side, they do end up losing Baboka, so position 5 for position 5 being traded.
NIP's turn to ban.
Radiant's turn to ban. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left.
The draft.
Radiant's turn to pick. Dire's turn to pick. Spectre. 10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Choose a hero or something. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Prepare for
Don't write down what I'm saying.
Would you accountable, Kyle,
don't like you.
for when you dumb shit, right? So when stuff comes out and he's like, no, I was right all along. I'm here. I'm ready. I've got you.
Just write down what he said about this draft, and then at the end of the game, it's either, oh my god, Carl, you are so damn right, or unfortunate, Carl, let's go again, game 3.
I'll see you guys after the game.
After the 2. Damn. Man, this man just wants it to be a clean 2-0. That's not fun.
He's loving to.
No.
It's not about. It's just about the reality of the situation.
Yeah,
Secret's one of the best teams in the world.
Not denying that, but Nipper showing that they can hang, they can fight. We had a good game coming into
Exactly.
it. It's time for us to get into the game.
Thanks.
We've got Cinderin and Suns fan ready to get involved in this one once again. I've got no peekaboo for you guys, but what do you make of the game coming up this way? Whoa, this is you guys like Jazzy Jeff? Answer correctly.
Never heard that name before. Is that a bad answer? It's probably a bad answer.
And these, by the way, these are probably the best representation.
Kyle, I also don't watch anime, though, so I get a pass, right?
Save it to anime.
What do you do, Cinderin, other than lose games of Dota 2?
He doesn't watch TV or any movies. Yeah, he leads a very cultured life.
All right.
Are you courting him for your next team?
Let's get into the game. Let's make it happen.
All right, Cinderin, how are you doing? It's been so long since we've cast together. I'm so happy to be here with you. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's been the longest 15 minutes of my life.
Yeah, me too. How do you like the lineups?
Part of me really feels like NIP has a better draft, but I have this experience of watching. Oh, hang on, let's wait with that for a second. All right,
we're
good blinding light.
The combo. It does not connect this time. The Inkswell Shikuchi, we've seen so much during this tournament so far. Looks like Saberlight will just Shikuchi out to safety. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I've seen so many secret strategies in the past where there's like this one mid-game timing that is really powerful and they just play off it exceptionally well. For NIP, their 4 non-Naga heroes are super good at making moves and taking early skirmishes and fights. But I feel like Secret can kind of weather the storm with just saves. They have Disruption, Blinding Light, Aphotic Shield, Haunt is kind of pseudo-save, and then Dragonite is innately tanky. So I'm worried that NIP don't have enough damage to actually kill this lineup in the mid-game. And that's when they want to make kills, right? Like, that's what this Dire lineup does. It makes skirmishes, Naga farms. You have no tower damage, no objective taking, you can't kill Roche. So you need to kill heroes to put pressure on the map. Like, your wave clear is not superior either. Both enemy supports have wave clear, all 3 cores have wave clear. So Secret won't lose in that department either.
How do you kill the illusions if it gets? So you're saying if it gets to late game, you favor Nip, right?
Or not? It's not that black and white.
Okay.
If it gets late enough and Naga is farmed enough, I think there will definitely be like a span where NIP is really strong if Charlie's farmed. But I don't think it's just a free Naga game. Like, yeah, you're maybe not the best against these illusions, but a farmed Spectre can kill the rest of your team. And Naga doesn't win games alone. Like, those times are gone. Dota doesn't work that way anymore most of the time. Like, yeah, Naga can be a huge power spike and be a really big threat, but heroes like Coddle, Shadow Demon, and Dragon Knight deal with the illusions pretty well. You have a blind, you can make your own illusions, you have a tanky frontliner that has natural cleave. One of your heroes will play Radiant Shiva maybe, could be the Abaddon, could be something on Dragon Knight. No, there's solution. Mjolnir's, their lineup can get it all.
I mean, Spectre, obviously not a hero that you should scoff at towards the late game. Can absolutely decimate pretty much the entirety of Nip's lineup if the right form is applied. But I'm just looking at Saberlight with this Weaver inevitably getting the time-lapse Aghanim Scepter. That's got to be one of the best ags in the game in terms of just competitive play that I've seen, at least. Just have this ridiculous save from ridiculous ranges. Inkswell, top lane, Yapzor. He's in a bit of trouble here.
Good damage.
We'll get out with a very little HP. We'll salve up to safety. But do you see that being a big item? Is this courier's being saved here? Era is trying to go for it.
I would say... Again, the type of strategy that Secret is playing is not one that bursts the hero, right? It's not built to, we're going to pop key cooldowns, get a kill, and snowball the fight. It's just this sustained sustained ball of over time, we will edge you out, basically. And I don't think Weaver should even go AX this game. I actually don't even know if it's. I don't know if it's
just
good
because
enough.
there's no burst. I mean, it's a 4 seconds? The time lapse, the last 4 seconds, I can't remember. Something to that effect. But so you're saying because there's no actual, like, straight up burst damage, Seneco's going to get first blood in the top lane.
It's 5 seconds, by the way, the time lapse.
So in 5 seconds, you don't think that's value enough to get an Aghanim Scepter at some point?
I mean, the Axe is insanely good. I'm not going to deny it. It's really good. I'm just, for this particular game, if you're buying it because you think there's going to be enough trouble happening during a DK stun. That's the way I see it.
I mean, I assume you do like something like Spirit Vessel first anyway, because you're going to get some Dragonite.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. We have seen offlane Weavers get a first item. I don't like that here, at least. I think you need more in the way of aggression. Like I already pointed out, I think the problem that NIP will face is of a damage nature. So if your offlane core is buying full utility, that doesn't solve the problem. You have a position 4 Void Spirit, and your carry is not joining for 20 minutes. So, gotta be. But nice for NIP at least to get the first blood top. When on Soneko, he killed Zai. It's a little bit of a head start for the Grimstroke.
This could be big mid lane. Searing Chains is there. Era securing the haste rune for Supreme. I was thinking he might just pick that up himself and just get the second blood, as it were, in the mid lane. But we'll be walking back. Of course, has no boots, so mobility isn't the greatest. And the fact that he left means Saberlight was open to take a lot of damage. Has double Wraithband right now and only 1 Tango. So trying to save up before that bottle.
He is starved
to take another Tango. Yeah,
he's gonna just keep getting daggered over and over and over again.
There is a sentry down for Nip, expecting perhaps the sentry coming from Secret. I'm not sure if they actually placed one, but either way, they won't have any vision here for now.
It's level 2 chakra now. He's gonna keep bullying them.
Oh,
this is so annoying for Weaver. This is one spell that Weaver can't dodge with Shukuchi that has so long range. Oh, nice blind from Pup. He didn't get it though.
Era gets it anyway though. Try to turn it around, but the swarm is here. Just try to walk this top. He's extremely slow. Jesus. Gets the dagger off. Supreme is here. He's also very slow. Very slow, in fact. That dagger really does a lot of work. And that's going to prevent anything from happening. Supreme will just have to go back to the mid lane, which he is a half level behind right now as Nisha pops dragon form. So we'll be dealing some damage to this mid lane. Yasuo is here as well. They want to kill him before his remnants come up. How much kill potential do they have? They do not have Dragon
Tail. This is a really difficult kill.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to even just take off Flame Guard to begin with. Very, very slow. Era's on the other side of the trees here too, so we'll see if this ends up connecting. Yapzor gonna get the courier. It's a nice little snipe there.
He's probably dead for that.
He's standing his ground. He's not moving. But yeah, with the Era here in conjunction with Soneko, they should be able to take him out.
So
Nisha will get the regen.
Not that bad. Oh man, getting the regen is real good. Like it's not that bad for Secret because they got half a tower and forced a 3-man rotation. So space for Zai top. Bot lane's obviously awesome for Matsu right now. 2v1 against the Weaver. Weaver can't do anything in this lane. 1v2. There's like no hope. You just get daggered over and over again. So look at Matsu go to town. Non-stop in his face. Throw a dagger again. Break the raindrops.
Well, despite that, though, Matoma is actually behind in terms of just pure CS. 31-4 versus 36-3 for the Nagasarian. But I guess some jungle creep should be accounted for, so perhaps not that big of a discrepancy. Looking at the network,
I don't know if there's much jungle involved here, but it's also about like how is the corresponding offlaner doing, right? Yeah, your Naga is farming well, but Abaddon is happy. He has 33 CS on this Abaddon top lane. Weaver in the bot lane has 20 and had to buy raindrops, salve, and go back to base. I'm a bit concerned for NIP's offlane player in this game now. Like, how is Saberlight gonna find any purpose in the next 10 minutes if he has to go back to a lane where he just gets destroyed? Like,
you have to put it that way. What is your purpose in life, young man? To exist and not die in lane. Good boy.
My purpose is to gain weight.
Why do you keep bringing that up? You're trying to gain weight, Syndrome?
No, I'm managing.
Put on some muscle. Okay, I see. You're
It's something else.
Nisha's in the top lane, by the way, with the dragon form, so dealing some damage to this tower. A little bit surprised he didn't go for the mid. Oh, actually, forced rotation and will TP mid and just going to go straight for the tower now. That's a pretty cool move. Now that he's Supreme his top lane, Zai taking some heavy damage. Of course, has a Photic Shield to dispel the Searing Chains.
Double save.
And Nisha will be able to get this down slightly.
Looks like Zai will die
Well,
for it.
though, all right, they will get it. But that did require quite a few heroes coming over, and they're going to lose mid lane. So, very cool move from Nisha. I like that a lot. Force a TP though. Yasuo's getting chased. So the question is, will they have any TPs to save him? Look like it. Resigned to his death, and that'll end up being a double kill for Supreme. So now I'm not so sure.
Oh, he doesn't have Dragon Tail. He does. He just leveled up. He could go for arrow here.
Has the DD, but the Aether Remnant is there. And TP support from Seneko. Ink Swell. He can get the stun off. Have enough. Ooh. Does it actually go off like that? That's interesting. Era getting breathe fired. Nisha no longer in range form, so we'll have to catch up the old-fashioned way. We'll give up though and apply more pressure to Grimstroke. He's getting surrounded here. Supreme has finally found his way to the mid lane. There's the Matamba Man ult, the haunt to come through. Seneco's gonna live. They're gonna try to force all this pressure onto the Ember Spear, but the Remnant is available. He will live a little bit longer. Looks like it's gonna be a 2-for-1, and the Dragon Knight does fall. Supreme. Beautiful rotations from Nip. Ends up being a 4-for-1. All they lost was the support Void Spear.
They did an awesome job at gauging how much they could tank. Era played the outskirts of that fight the whole time. I think Mato made a mistake not haunting on top of the Void Spirit and killing him off, but I guess his camera wasn't there. He started jumping the Grimstroke, the one guy who still had health left. And yeah, they weaved that beautifully. And then the Weaver coming in as well, getting the Ink Swell is just the final blow, right?
They weaved it quite well, and the Weaver did his part. He found purpose in life. His purpose was to weave, in fact. Great job, young man.
I was gonna say I hate you, but there's got to be a better word, a bigger one.
Despise?
No, there's worse, right?
I don't know. That's pretty bad.
Come up with the word. Think of the worst word you know. That's you right now.
Murder. I want to murder. It's good English, trust me, I know. It's my only language that I know, Syndrome. I know better than you. Okay, murder you.
Yes.
Well, the 10-minute outpost came through. How did that go, actually? It was...
I think it was a split.
What?
No, it wasn't. Dire got both.
Both went to the Dire. Yeah, Nip got both. So the map control... 1K network lead. But they'll be pretty happy with this, for sure, considering how the game started.
Yeah, the sequence that just happened. It's like 5% HP, and nobody dies. They got one casualty, right? Who was it that died?
Yes.
I didn't remember.
Well, Tech was a casualty. Remember the definition?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this.
Era did die.
Yes. He was a casualty. You're technically correct. He was a casualty. Will he want to go on top of the bot at any point? They're gonna go for this initiation on top of Nisha, but the TP support is there. I believe the book was taken by Seneko, who's now level 6. Era still level 5.
Yeah.
Working his way towards the Astral Step. Is Era playing the 4 or the 5 this game?
He's 4.
And
but I mean, he hasn't really got any CS or kills, so he is poor. And Soneko is 3-0 and 4. So by comparison, he's really big. But
right.
Yeah. Okay. In farm distribution, he still has more CS than the Grimstroke. So one has 3, the other has 6.
Yeah, Soneko pretty close to finishing his arcane boots. And Era, lucky for him, found Arcane Ring. What an item! Terrific. Well played. Did find his Astral Step now, so will be a little bit more mobile as a result. DD, taken by Supreme, will not be dragon-tailed. Nice pickup for him now. Is working towards a Spirit Vessel, which we did mention was going to be built by Weaver most likely, but it does make sense that Supreme would build it as well, since that's fairly common on Ember Spirits. and
Still very
the farm
curious
on
what he
Weaver.
gets on Weaver, what he queues up over next.
Okay.
Yeah, Absor getting dove.
Yeah, Inkswell is available, and here's the combo, but there's a double TP incoming. Yeah, Absor will be safe thanks to the Aphotic Shield. Saberlight and the Shikuchi away. Coddle was taken out, but out of position there. Or Puppy, Nisha. Gonna use Dragon Form. Will Nip want to continue with this is the question. Saberlight with Shikuchi to safety. It's actually kind of inside their tier 1 tower. Yapsor again, Aphotic Shield. There's the time-lapse keeping the Weaver alive. No, he dies right afterwards, actually. Seneko, Haunted Eye is going to attempt to TP out. Will be successful, surprisingly enough. Supreme, no remnants up at the moment. But has the move speed, and actually will be killing a poor Kobold in the meantime.
This is such a what is it you call it? I think I got it wrong in my head. In my mind. It's just like the game is just so much about the little things right now. Like it's everybody's at a sliver of HP. One team has a lot of save and the other has a lot of catch. So it's all about like, do you have your defensive heroes in position helping each other out? Like you saw Yapsor how long it took there for them to finally get him. The Inkswell first on the Weaver, then he gets shielded by a Baden, then Coddle comes in and helps. Keep in mind, Puppy isn't even level 6 yet, and they're still staying alive in these fights without their defensive ultimate. So if Secret are managing right now, I think they're whether. Of course, Naga will be farming a lot, which is what NIP want with their game plan. So definitely on track for that. But considering the score is 10-2, it really doesn't feel like a big NIP lead whatsoever in the game. Like they've lost their mid and their top tower, whereas Secret has only lost their bottom tower. And I'm getting
bot lane. Swarm is there. Era could catch up, but I don't think they have the damage though.
No.
It's going basically straight for Radiance now. Has the treads with the casual ring of Tarask. You mentioned the Radiance. I'm guessing you like that on him this game, especially against the illusions later on for
absolutely. I think this build from is the best he can go this game. Go Ring of Tarask or some sort of other early value item to sustain, and then straight Radiance. It's what your lineup wants. It wants these long run-out fights where you do passive damage, and it's the perfect item for that. Just keep each other alive, let the Radiance do the work over time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They had 3 in the vicinity, but we're not looking to take out Matama Man. Are they just lacking the damage, you think, to feel comfortable enough?
He's a really hard to kill.
Yeah.
1,700 health.
Behind the Naga Siren at the current point in time. And the CS, in terms of net worth, actually got quite the lead on Naga as well. Got quite the lead on everybody, in fact. Here comes Charlie. They're just going to spot out Matama.
He's in trouble.
He's inside the trees here. Yeah. Puppy is Dunzo. The Inkswell finishes him off. He's going to buy back into the game, surprisingly enough. He does have his ultimate to work with, Nisha. Spirit Vessel is already applied, but the Aphotic Shield instantly dispels. And there is Puppy's ult. Matama Man's going to be saved as a result, but he's getting relatively low. Supreme's going to jump in with his remnants. Will not find a kill, however. Air is the only one to die on the side of Nip, so it's a 1-for-1 with a buyback onto the Coddle. Seneko TP's out. Charlie's gonna get a big kill, but the Song of Siren saves him. Down very low thanks to the Dragon Knight, but will live. And now Supreme and Saberlight and Seneko. I think he TP'd out, I guess not. He's gonna get the Soul Bind onto 2. Do they have anything to follow it up by? No, it's just gonna use for the soul if nothing else. Saberlight attempts to do as much damage as possible with time lapse into the tier 1 tower, looking for Matama Man, but the Aphotic Shield again saving another member of Team Secret, Zai. Keeping everyone alive, it feels like.
Aphotic Shield is like the biggest spell of this game. It is so good against the Dire lineup. They're playing very much off of Slight Chains and off the Vessel, and he removes both on one hero with one spell. As a cooldown of 6 seconds, he counters Ember every single time. If this Abaddon is not dealt with like a Grimstroke Silence or sung off on the side by Naga or something, he is saving people forever. Show like the kind of the ideology behind how Secret are approaching this draft compared to the last one. It's just so much about we're going to keep each other alive, they're going to try to run at us and fight us, and we're just not going to let them get kills. They've got, I mean, I say that as they have 12 kills, but it doesn't feel like the Dire is accomplishing the goal of their lineup, right? Usually you would be happy to have 12 kills in 17 minutes. But Spectre is progressing, Dragon Knight is progressing, Abaddon is going full utility, by the way. I think it's the perfect choice here, going Vlad's into pipe.
Just, oh man, they're gonna go on top of him. This could be an enormous kill if they're able to find it. Zai with the Aphotic Shield again, but Spectre not able to get out, and Zai looks to be next. Borrow time does activate. He's gonna do as much damage as he can to Senegu. He's gonna attempt to TP out. Huh?
Actually got him.
Why was he trying to TP out? He was fine if he just ran. Was he not? They had to kill him.
Sure. It was pretty close. Like he could make a little bit of space, but Abaddon was super fast. He had 4 stacks of curse on him.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Wondering if that's the right choice from Zai, by the way, going 1-4-4. It feels like a max mist coil game to me, just because of how they're playing fights, right? At the same time, the curse is very useful for his teammates. When it's on a target, it helps them out a lot. But considering how much he's spellcasting relative to hitting, I would have liked to see a bit more mist coil focus here. He is skilling it over his talent, though, so that's good to see. I think that's the right choice.
Oh, puppy. They actually used the scan in the bot lane to try to find him, but he ended up showing himself and instantly brought down by Charlie.
See ya.
Jesus. He has the Manta working on Diffusal, and that's when he starts to get really freaking annoying. And then on the counterpart for Spectre, just picked up his Sacred Relic, so still a full recipe to go. But that's kind of a huge moment for Spectre, obviously. But still, he's down 2,400 in net worth to that Naga. Now, I have a question for you in terms of item builds. We're going to go on to Zai here, but Aphotic can shield himself. The Dragon Knight build, he's going BKB, but went Shadowblade first. What do you think of this build? So my assumption is you initiate in Shadowblade form, hunt in afterwards to try to find kills. As Zai is
but they found Nisha. That's bigger.
Yeah, he's at half HP. The Soulbind onto 2, and his TP is no longer there. So this is going to be an easy kill at the end of the day on 2 heroes, 2 cores, in fact. The Absor looks really third.
They pressure onto Zai, and that opens up the Nisha kill on the side. He wasn't in range to help him in the first part, and then they take him down like 80% before Zai can help. Yeah, the idea is definitely you get the Shadow Blade so that you have a catch that you can haunt on and get your Coddle itself on, right? Absolutely. That was really big. That was NIP's biggest move of the game, I think.
Do you like that, DK, this game?
I think it's fine. I think it's the one reliable way they catch this Weaver and Ember, right? Killing Weaver is definitely nice for them, but... And they also need some sort of mobility, right? I don't think you can strictly play defensive forever. Like, you need a way of playing once you hit your timing, so he's setting up for that as well. Good. Yeah, that kill on Monster earlier, though, really big deal. He would have had his Radiance a minute ago if they didn't kill him top when Zai was nearby, and they just overwhelmed them with numbers. That is one of the...
finishing here shortly.
It's one of the big challenges when you play this kind of defensive lineup, such as Secrets, is placing your heroes correctly can be very difficult. Like, you want the right amount of protection for the cores, but not too much. And since you're not taking that much initiative in the game, somewhere will be your weak spot every time. Saberlight.
It's going to get disrupted, but we'll Shikuchi out. Doesn't look like they have any vision. Is that a normal? Yeah, so getting initiated on, but here comes the Will-O-Wisp onto 2 heroes, but outside of it, so Secret's going to attempt to go back in, but the Song of the Siren will be used, and now the Will-O-Wisp is gone. On top of this, now they're actually going to potentially retreat here. For 2, and Secret will continue. Supreme. Nice fight overall, and that's the Radiance reveal.
Line. So this is the big timing Secret have been waiting for 20 minutes, and now it's about keeping up the momentum here, and ideally maybe getting a secondary catch even. I'm wondering if they're going to try to either get... I mean, it's only really Spectre here that could buy a catch, I suppose. Oh, close call and blind there, but he did get out.
A nice fake out, but it's going to be low ground here for the stun from DK. And down goes Era. So it ends up being 4 kills.
And the key thing here is, if you notice, the fights that Secret are doing the best in, or even winning, are where the enemy team tries to dive a support next to the tower. This was the second time they tried to kill Yapsor at this top tower, and it gives them a good location to Coddle ult. it gives them a very clear way of playing the fight with their Abaddon, who just has a very easy connection point where he can start saving people. And then once NIP are committed in like that, the lack of catch doesn't matter as much when your team is naturally out of position. Then they've already caught themselves, right? So all you need to do is get in the damage, and they get it done. Roche attempt.
Roshan is going to be here for Nip. They have the minus armor to work with it.
They might just be giving it up. I think it looks like Secret feel like this is happening, but they will.
No on. Dragon Form is down. Will-O-Wisp is down for 20 seconds. They're going to try to delay. Zai's just going to end up locking in. It's going to attempt here. Product Shield is down, but Charlie will get the Aegis of Immortality. Very low. They could pop it pretty early. Song of the Siren's coming back very shortly. Era drops first. The Aegis is down. We'll see if they want to fight as these ultimates are now online for Secret. Connell has absolutely no mana, but pops the wand. There's the Will-O-Wisp onto 3. Ember side. Song of the Siren is used in conjunction, though. So Puppey does go down as Supreme attempting to get out of dodge. A nice slow here. Beautiful stroke of fate slowing everybody down. Supreme pops the Essence ship, or the Essence ring, but he has absolutely no remnants for 5 seconds, so all it requires is 1 stun. So another nice fight for Secret, despite losing the Roshan in theory. Charlie, his Aegis is already gone. And now he just apply pressure to buildings. I mean, the combo of DK Abaddon, very, very strong at taking buildings.
Middle tower.
This tower's one for sure.
Dire's doing that glowy thing.
And sure. And another thing that is happening for NIP in these fights is, again, it's not just that you're playing a lineup with catch when you into a lineup with saves. It's that your catch is charge based, right? You run out of cooldowns eventually. The Void Spirit uses 2 Astral Steps in the fight. Suddenly he's a target for the Haunt or a Dragon Knight stun. The Ember uses all of his remnants. You saw it there. He has to use them offensively so they have enough damage. And Secret just outlasts all of it. And then there's no escape plan. The only hero that's realistically, I mean, it's not totally true. You have Song of the Siren. And then everybody needs to have TPs ready. If they don't, you get run down eventually by this Dragon Knight and Spectre. So I think this is a really cool game to watch compared to the first game. The first game was great as well, but it feels like the strategy overall is like really, it's very different approaches the lineups are playing with. And I think it's kind of right here in Dota, where it feels like in the last like 2 weeks or to a month, it's almost been the same all the time, right? Like everybody just wants to fight nonstop, play aggressive, have stuns, and this is very different from Secret. It's cool to see.
Yeah, we could go all the way back to TI1 days. Anti-Mage versus Spectre. Bring it back. Woo! That was some good shit right there. You know, the one memory I have of TI1 that I just, every time I think of it, I laugh. And it's not the Anti-Mage versus Spectre, because that was miserable. But the fact that most of the games were not cast, right? So the only way you could watch was they had the directed camera. And there were so many Tinker picks, and the directed camera would always show Tinker going back to base constantly. Like literally 50% of the game is watching Tinker TP to base and somewhere else. It was, God, that was good times.
Dota was still in beta back then, so.
That was alpha, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah. Just for beta, no.
Somewhere in between alpha and beta. Longest beta of all time. Tier 2 tower taken out on the top. And it looks like they're going to continue. I mean, Dragon Form is available. And Haunt, of course, is available. Matumba Man is about 700 away from finishing his Mantha, which is going to power spike him a bit in terms of damage dealt. He's catching up in terms of net worth. 3K behind the Naga Siren.
It's just his net worth is so high value. Like just comparing these two heroes, just saying one hero is richer than the other doesn't really translate into game impact, because Naga's net worth is, it's not as easy to use in fights. Matsu just goes in, has any sort of protection, and he gets the job done. The Naga illusions are not overpowering enough yet that his net worth truly is shown in fights.
They're going to find niches. It's going to pop the Dragon Form, but it's going to use the Dragon Tail on the Void Spirit. Era uses all his charges. And he's going to get staggered, but uses the wand and lives as a result. So, a good attempt there. They did force the Dragon Knight ult. So this is another, like, looking at the ultimate situation, right? Dragon Form, Haunt, that opens up opportunities for Nip, where Secret doesn't really have the same kind of luxury. I mean, Song of the Siren is the one big one, I guess, but let's see if that comes into play at all during the rest of this game. Nisha already getting drained heavily. Forced to disrupt him is Astro is going to have 3 dragons as a result. Era jumps in with the Astro Step. There's a Will-O-Wisp used onto 2 throws as unfortunately Puppey died within the Will-O-Wisp. The fastest Ignis was not enough for him. Soulbind onto 2. BKB popped by the dragon. They're just going to turn onto Era. He easily melts. Yapster in the meantime getting healed by Zai. Supreme still working on the Aghanim Scepter. It's going to get silenced here. Essence Ring is popped again. Naga Siren getting extremely low. Has the Song of the Siren. We'll have to pop it here very shortly with the Ink 12. And I'm going to turn this back around as Matama Man very low, drops to the deck. 3 for 1 with the buyback coming from Era. And this looks to be a very close team wipe here in favor of Nip. Nisha, this mana drain is just destroying Secret.
Really, really key difference here from NP. They fight in a much more open spot, whereas the previous team fights has been close to the enemy tower. And the Coddle ulti gets forced super early. It's not really impactful because they're just playing around it with their reach. And the Haunt from Matsu coming in a little bit late as well. So they already got the Coddle kill and were ahead in the fight before the Haunt came in. I think they decided if they want to, Puppey's dead again.
Saberlight has a diffusal blade as well, by the way. And they double diffusal blades.
It's such a big deal that Naga had hearts. Like, that really turned that fight around. NIP just found a timing here where Naga, with that extra, like, 33% health he had from the heart compared to the previous fight, the illusions were just a little bit too much this time. That's a very big deal. NIP won't be able to get a base
she's very powerful. I mean, we talked about when she got Manta Diffusal, she's very annoying and she can deal a lot of damage. But once that heart comes, she's very strong. Nisha, giving vision here of Supreme, but nobody's even remotely close to Nisha right now. Gonna be seen by this Sentry, and just like that, look how fast he's melting with this mana burn. Forced to pop his BKB, which is now at 8 seconds, so that's pretty unfortunate for him.
Now Charlie is working on the Spectre counter until Spectre has either BKB or plays around it, obviously. The Silver Edge to break dispersion. Classic solution to a late game Spectre.
Why would he be the one that builds it though? Why would it be Weaver or somebody else?
Thinking that Charlie could also just for a butterfly here and just make his illusions too strong. I'm not sure if I like this. Like, yeah, you're countering the Spectre and the Dragon Knight with this item. Dragon Knight already has BKB though. And Abaddon, he has to manually press ult. Pay attention, Era's dead.
Era's dead?
But, I don't know. I would like a butter more here. Just get more stronger.
Let me ask you this. So, obviously, Weaver has invisibility with Shakuchi, and it's going to look really stupid. An invisibility item, but do you really care at all about that? All you care about is the break. You know what I mean? Is that worth getting? I can easily get it off too. Ridiculous move speed.
Oh, got the chains on the wrong guy there.
Yeah, Abaddon with the aquatic shield, keeping Puppey safe. Looks like Nip is on the run right now. They're gonna see Charlie. Song is available. He will pop it. And will likely TP out.
Kanisha could have predicted that song and premeditatively BKB'd. That could have gotten really interesting, I think. But they might not have wanted the fight regardless if he uses BKB like that. I believe Charlie wasn't in Glimmer though when he cast the song, so they couldn't see the animation, I think.
Now, Supreme has an Ags, by the way. Very powerful Aghanim Scepter. Gonna have ridiculous mobility now. And Matama Man being spotted out by Saberlight. Supreme's gonna jump in as well. Gets the Searing Chains off. Haunt used. Where does he end up? He's going all over the place. Figures his best option is this side of the river. But that means that they can't really fight. That's a big ultimate down.
Yep. Just for a moment in time there, Matsu doesn't have any protective hero near him. There's no Shadow Demon, no Abaddon near. So, nice move from NIP to put on the pressure, identifying that there is a play there to be made. And now I think it's calmed down a little bit. I think we're waiting for Roche. Secret would love to get a Haunt available for this Rosh, and then they might even try to initiate it. Spectre with Manta kills Roshan relatively quickly. And he has a lot of good protection there, obviously, with a Bat and with Pipe and Caudal ulti should NIP try to engage. Maybe they won't even get time to get Haunt ready. Rosh is up in 5. NIP will possibly scout it if they send in literally anything into the pit now. They would know it's spawning now. But looks like they're just on the hunt for Nisha. He's finding us a sentry ward. He got out.
He's good to go. He's getting surrounded. Zai is coming for moral support, among other things. Soulbind is going to be on both of them. And with that BKB and Dragon Form activated, I believe Nip will probably just back here. That's a Will-O-Wisp used. They're trying to get the Weaver. Nice blinding light back into the Will-O-Wisp. So Weaver's dead and Nip will be forced to retreat. I mean, you popped a big ultimate and BKB. I feel like getting out of there was the right choice here. They might find some more, though. Dragon Tail connects onto Suneko.
Oh, too late on the song.
Too late. That's a big ultimate on the side of Nip down now. As Era is completely surrounded here. That is his last astral step. We'll get an Aether Remnant down, but it feels like these are somewhat unnecessary deaths.
Yeah, this is really bad, because now they can't even steal the Rosh with Song of the Siren. Secret know it's on a cooldown for a minute here, so they could try to go for Rosh with 3 dead heroes in the enemy team and the Mantis still already on spec. I think they successfully just turned... Somehow they got 3 kills out of this because NAP were so eager to keep going after they forced the Dragon Knight BKB and form. I think they were able to disengage there fully, cleanly, if they wanted to, and take that W with no Dragon Form and no Haunt. Maybe they could have been the ones initiating Rosh, but now they got hit over a little more than they could chew.
They traded Soulbind for Dragon Knight ult and BKB. That was good enough. But then Weaver got caught, and then everybody started getting caught. That was kind of like save your friend syndrome, right?
Yep, absolutely.
As a result, it's basically an even game in terms of net worth. Naga still with a 3. She's been maintaining this pretty much exact same lead throughout the game on top of Matamba Man. Did finish the Silver Edge, so we'll see how effective that ends up being against the Spectre. I mean, it's just kind of weird for me because she doesn't really want to be the one that, like, I don't know. Is she just going to use it in the middle of fights? I guess it's not really an initiation thing at all. Some good songs, I suppose. There's some cool plays with that.
Yeah, I kind of.
But they don't have a wombo combo.
That. Yeah, I mean, what if, right? What if he gets in on top of the Spectre with this Silver Edge? Can they, or on top of the Dragon Knight? They kill the hero, or not? There's Spectre can on the way. There's Manta. There's Dragon.
Will-O-Wisp. They're gonna find Supreme. Nope. The Yule's counter is here. It's gonna remnant up to the high ground and will live as a result. That was very close. Very, very close.
Looks like the supports might be in trouble though. Glimmer.
Yeah. Yapsor taking some damage here from Saberlight. As the fight's better right now. Yapsor is taking the brunt of the damage though. He's gonna disrupt him. We see if he ends up living through the day. Era getting quite low as well. Dragon Knight soulbound and destroyed. That's his dragon form down. Will come back with the Aegis, but it's a mere mortal, unfortunately for him. He's going to get taunted right off the bat by the Aether Remnant. Matamba Man trying to take some damage. He has the cheese, so will stay alive for a long period of time unless they're able to lock him down. And the Weaver is going to be saved by Song, and Nip looks like they're just going to retreat. Or Silver Edge, so Weaver can stay very safe. Supreme trying to apply as much pressure as possible onto the Spectre. Still has his cheese available. Nisha is the one that's in real peril here.
Does he want to give the dance to Nisha here?
It's going to be close, but nope, doesn't move any items to the backpack. So that is 4-4-1. Nip again coming out on top of this fight. Matamba Man should be fine. And Nip will probably just go down mid.
At least that Silver Edge surprise factor definitely played a role there. It's hard to quantify how this fight goes if he has a butterfly instead, right? Like, we can always only speculate what really happens, but that time around, we got 2 Silver Edge hits off on Dragon Knight, one before the Aegis and one after, and it definitely made those kills a lot faster.
Yeah. It just feels like they just have an awkward lineup for a Silver Edge, right? So maybe they just felt like that's the best hero to have it. I don't want to be embarrassed by the double in this. I understand that completely. Makes sense, Syndra.
Now, some big things are coming up for NIP now as well. They've got the BKB on Weaver, so now he finally has 10 seconds of safety. He's not going to die to anything while he's BKB'd this game, unless Spectre gets a Basher, which actually, okay, he just got it, but even then, you can play around that relatively easily. You've got the Naga Siren closing in on the next item. I'm assuming it will be Butter, but we'll see if Charlie thinks against that. And on the other side, Secret, the biggest pickup, Aghanims on YapzOr. He's 1-9 and somehow has managed to farm up 3 items.
He found a Philosopher's Stone, so.
Yeah, that's true. That'll help. And 100 CS doesn't hurt either. So who do you purge with this? You have Break, which doesn't really break anything. Does it break Geminate attack, I guess? It doesn't really matter much.
And Riptide, which won't matter since you have a bunch of illusions out probably already. I guess it's mostly for... I mean, it's an amazing...
really good against Ember.
Yeah, it takes off Flame Guard. That's a big one.
It's also just the damage, right? Like 3 charges of this is a lot of damage that you can just pile on top of it. It gives you way more control in the fights. You're playing against some heroes that are pretty mobility based in both the Ember and the Naga and the Void Spirit, all 3 of those for that matter. They can't UL during it. You have 3 charges. So, man, I don't disagree with the choice. I think this item on Shadow Demon is almost a must-buy in the mid-late game when you're this farmed. It's just not the best game. It's like, oh my god, you know?
Yeah. But, I mean, if you're on the other side, then it would be a god tier.
Yeah, it would be insane for Dire.
DK and Spectre, even Abaddon to some degree. Well, illusions are going to be copied here, so Nip is getting a little taste of their own medicine. How that have the disruption on these illusions?
It's pretty big. It gets bigger when YapzOr hits level 25, but that's way. So then he can get the extra charges.
That's true.
Bottom tower needs a hand.
Because then he can use 1 offensively and still have 1 defensively. I think the tricky thing for SD this game is deciding what to do in the fight, right? Like, are you trying to put pressure or are you trying to save? And you also need to save yourself because you're getting jumped.
Supreme TPing out.
No bash.
No bash. Unfortunate.
Now Charlie.
Dragon-tailed up. There's the Will-O-Wisp. They're going to pop the dragon form. Charlie attempting. No way. And that could be a terrible fight here for Nip if it continues to go down this road. Saberlight pop BKB chasing Puppy, but
no bash.
Yeah, no bash.
Oof. Wait, who TP'd out, you said?
Supreme TP'd out originally.
Did he not leave a remnant behind?
I'm not sure.
Well, either way, the Naga was just completely isolated. Nobody was near to help. They basically killed the Naga Siren with Dragon Knight and Spectre just running at him. And this was a high ground that NIP had control over. Secret just walked up and were like, nope, our hill. I guess the big mistake here is Secret still had a ward there from like 4 minutes ago, and NIP did not manage to secure the area properly with vision. So Secret did sense an opportunity there and take it. That's so big. Killing Naga right now is like, it's game changing. Especially if he has to buy back, then it's really bad.
He's still not going Butterfly, by the way. Not for Scotty now, it looks like, which obviously is a good item in its own right.
And why not? Why does he not want Butter?
Yeah,
is it not? Am I missing something? Isn't it like really good this game?
I mean, looking at his item slots, he won't even be able to get anything else after this.
And maybe he thinks it's more important that his Illus have raw health, and he's worried about the Shadow Demon disruptions with Butter, that they were too strong. That's a possibility. That's his reasoning here. I'm just thinking, like, you're playing against a Dragon Knight and a Spectre who both don't have MKB or Rapier and don't want to buy it anytime soon. I would really like to not buy this item. So if you have a Butter, they're going to struggle to kill you. The only thing that is the problem there is, of course, that Shadow Demon. But, well, yeah. I'm not a Naga player. I might be saying stupid stuff. Not sure. But I feel like...
Stupid stuff. That's the name of our casting.
I feel like most Naga games, these kind of conditions, that item is on the menu. That's why I'm surprised. It's kind of the norm. That's why I'm so used to seeing it. No. But not coming out here. Or this Blade could also be a choice. Scotty.
You're a real hater on Scotty.
No, I'm definitely not a hater. It's just I'm not a lover as far as Scotty goes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Glad you cleared that up.
Cheers.
Should mention that Nisha does have the Mjolnir, so we'll be able to help take out these illusions. And Aghanim Scepter next. The Black Dragon shall live if the game goes long enough, which is obviously amazing in its own right. Just the magic resist alone is crazy.
Exile, gotta break a smoke.
Yep. Will-O-Wisp is popped. Dragon Tail to follow, and Weaver is dead. Beginning the fight, and that's no Weaver for 84 seconds. Song of the Siren is available if they get any closer, but those illusions, my God, how annoying can they be? That'll break things up.
That was the blink reveal on DP. Has he used it before?
He had it.
Maybe I didn't notice.
No.
He got on top of Weaver real fast. So that's why Caudle went for the ult as well here, is that the follow-up was available. It's a good pick. It's not the end of the world for NIP though. Like, yeah, you lose a Weaver, but Roche isn't up. The enemy team used Caudle ulti, Dragon Form, and Haunt. So that's passable.
Yeah, Weaver was a very right-click carry type of build right now. Diffusal BKB, we'll be going for Satanic. It was like even though this is kind of an old school mentality, the BKB Lincolns has a lot of value to this game because that Dragon Tail has actually ruined him every single time. And it's not like he has any time to react with the Blink or the Shadow Blade, unless you have vision, of course.
It's just, if you have BKB Lincolns, yeah, what are you? What's your purpose?
What's your purpose? Yes, your purpose is to survive, you see. The name of the game is DK. So much damage being applied to him right now. He is in Viz. I'm not sure if they have vision. There's the dust of and this instruction from Yapsor, the Thumb of Man, soulbound to the DK, I believe. And they're going to take a lot of damage as a result. Charlie getting extremely low now. He's going to get bashed. Has his Manta and Song still up, holding on to both.
He is patient with that Song.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
They could go back again. His heart is regenerating now.
Oh, this is a big turnaround if they get Nisha. Oh, they dropped the sentry
Dragon
first.
Tail. He's going to blink out before any damage is applied. Yapsor and Zai might be in a little bit of trouble. Zai had to pop his borrowed time kind of early here. Matama Man's still fighting. Let's see if they actually want to continue here. Remember, it's still on Matama Man. Charlie taking the brunt of the damage. There's a big Will-O-Wisp on several here. Charlie trying to get off his Song, but he's getting stun locked inside the Will-O-Wisp. And he is dead for 90 seconds. No buyback to speak of. And here comes Secret.
Secret are playing this really, really well. The way they're weaving around.
Haunt and Seneko, Disruption cancels the TP. They're going for more. Supreme taking the brunt of the damage, and the Dragon Tail is enough with the right clicks of both here as he drops the Gem of True Sight as well. As finally Seneko falls, we'll buy back into the game. This is going to be a Rax, if not more. Double buyback. Naga Siren still dead for 60 seconds. Not even remotely close to his buyback. They're just going to go for two. They're going to try to force out this non-existent buyback on the Naga Siren. Spectre, again, still has the cheese, so is very healthy to go in here, very confident. Dragon Form is about to go out, though, so their push will be much weaker in just a moment here. Soulbind onto two. They're going to jump onto the Void Spirit. Era will be punished and bought back into the game as a result. This is looking like a double Rax. Fortification is finally used after all this time, but still no Naga. 30 seconds. So they should be able to get at least this melee and run. See if Nip can get some very important exit.
They're fake backing. They still are they? They were fake faking. Okay.
Fake faking, yes, my favorite.
So in all the Mato has still not needed to use cheese. Like they just can't put enough pressure on him. And now he has a butterfly. This Spectre is almost invincible now. He has so many saves behind him. There's no true strike on the Dire against his butter. He's level 25 with the dispersion talent. It's really problematic for an IP now. I mean,
so I don't want
clearly
to be
they
that
lost
guy.
A lot of racks, but
like the Naga Siren, Charlie obviously was not able to get his ult off inside the Will-O-Wisp. So I mean, the layer for Secret has been just brilliant. But he'd live in some of these fights if he has Butterfly instead of the Silver Edge. A lot of the damage is the right clicks from DK and Spectre.
I do think yes. This will be like maybe I'm looking at it wrong. BKB is
Yeah, DK, Nisha, BKB, Dragon Form buyback onto the Weaver. It's going to time lapse back in. It sounds like. Nope, it actually just TP's in. Time lapse is still available. Roche is up. I'm not sure if Secret want to go for this, but the Dragon Form was activated. This is going to be a big ult down.
They needed it to catch the Weaver. He popped it for the stun.
Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrating.
I'm thinking about if Naga, if it doesn't go the butter, if it could go BKB. I mean, we're talking about it a lot here, but it's very clear that he's struggling to be able to man fight. Maybe a BKB is a solution there, so he doesn't get soul captured, he doesn't get burnt down by the DK, the Spectre damage. Just dodging Desolate even is a big deal.
I mean, I think that this right now is a potential opening for Nip. Knowing that Dragon Form is down, maybe you try to force this Roche fight. I mean, that's kind of a massive thing. Obviously, everything else is up for... Oh no, Will-O-Wisp is still down. Stupid or not. There's a Hex onto Zai. Oh, looks like Era just gets blown up. Very fast.
Oh, the Abyssal as well.
Matama Man jumps in with the Abyssal Saberlight. It's in place. It will be full HP as a result. And he's still taking heavy damage here. Ember Spirit is just going left, right, and center all over the map. He's very fast. Very hard to activate hero. Speaking of stunning heroes, Weaver is getting really low. They don't have vision to finish him off, though. Saberlight will have to go back to base now. The break apply the DK, but again, the save on disruption. They have ways to deal with this. And now the song right here. He has the song. He gets stunned, though. This could be the game right here. It's going to be close. And down he goes again. GG is called. Wow. Secret wins 2-0.
This was a really great series to watch. It was very entertaining Dota. I think once again, NIP, it's not a bad showing in this game. I don't think they should feel too down about their performance in either game. There are definitely mistakes, replay to look at, but there is for both teams. Secret just a bit more